Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Harness Tube and David Brink and Steve Surratt, Lisa Surratt here in the Menard County Fair to bring you harness racing from Petersburg, Illinois. It's a muggy, humid night, isn't it, David?
It is. I can feel that water truck, I think. It's you can cut it with a knife.
And so we're glad that you could join us tonight on Harness Tube. We've got 11 races for you on the program for tonight. And we're supposed to be started at 6:30.
6:30, correct,
yes. 6:30, and they do have lights here. Again, we can't guarantee with the camera what they're going to be. Lisa will be giving you kind of a flavor of what you're going to be getting. She's trying to shoot through an open building, maybe to get some pictures for you that we can't. But we can see from our vantage point, we can see just turn two. We can look through the barn and through everything, all the paraphernalia there, and see a little bit. Then we got a building and travel trailers in our way. And coming out of, you'll see them going into turn 3. Then you'll lose them because of the green porta potties.
Well, yeah.
And then she'll pick them up after the porta potties.
But we were just talking, Steve, and sitting here in the grandstand ourselves. That's the view. That is what it is. So our camera's picking up as if you were sitting here in person. But besides having an eye in the sky, maybe, or something, we don't really have much choice to get away from all the obstacles in our way.
No, the only way we could do this and give you is to add another camera person through the whole project.
Yeah,
and even at that point, I don't think we could get you the whole track. And it's just near impossible. Somebody said, well, why don't you go in the middle up in the booth?
That
well,
nice new
that'd be
nest
great.
is 30
that'd be
foot
great
in the air.
if you didn't have cords attached to your
Right.
camera. You could just go round in
We
circles.
keep spinning in the same circle. That doesn't work, with the cords.
Yep.
But
we could go with a few batteries for a while, but the batteries, once they give out, we'd hate to lose a race for you. But we'll give you the best commentary we can. Ed Teefee will be your track announcer this evening, and we'll have lots of things available for you.
I don't have any updates as far as driver changes yet or anything like that. Tina is still coming over from the horse barn area, so we'll get those to you as soon as we get them.
Yeah, and you know what? We're on the opposite side of the track as those people tonight, so guess what? We're gonna get them the same time you do over the track announcer, so we may miss a few driver changes. But guess what, folks? We're going to have the race on for you. Every place is different, as we have told you. We walk into every place. We automatically went to the infield, thought the press box over across the way would work. Well, no, the sound system's on this side of the track.
On this side.
Kind of like Carlinville.
Yep.
Carlinville, it was on the inside of the track. And so we're up here. Lisa's up here in the stands with us. And like I say, we're going to do the best we possibly can. With that, we're going to let you listen to some of our sponsors. We can't do this without the people that advertise with us.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Back with you on Harness Tube on YouTube. Steve Surratt, David Brink, Lisa Surratt with you in the Menard County Fair in Petersburg, Illinois. Post time is 6:30. We've got 11 races on board for you. You heard from a couple of our sponsors out there. David, with that, people can get involved with sponsorships by advertising with us. and we can still use advertisers. What do we got? Let's see, we got a race next week, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7, 8,
Seven,
looks like.
7, 8 races. They can still get in contact with you about doing those
Absolutely.
8 races, get their feet wet for next year, and do that. You can do that by going to Facebook at HarnessTube, YouTube at HarnessTubeIL, or just send him an email at harnesstube@gmail.com or call 312-772.
You know, I got to thinking, Steve, and I guess we'll leave this in the fans' hands. If they like us talking, then we can take donations instead and just keep talking over. But I mean, the original idea was we're going to roll some ads through between these races and try to fill up some time and pay for this endeavor. So please, if you have an ad, if you want to advertise to a broad market across the state, reach out.
Yep, absolutely. That's available to you. But the race is coming up. You can see on your screen there. Urbana is coming up next week, the 25th. Yes. We'll have that race for you. That is on Monday of next week, 6 p.m. post time. Then it's a flurry. We get 1 day off in 8 days.
It's going to be wild.
Sunday through Sunday, as we go Lincoln on Monday the 3rd, or Sunday the 30th, Monday the 31st, Lincoln. Then we skip a day. We go to Charleston for 3 days. Then we're back to Mount Sterling to end the season for us as far as harness racing is concerned. We've got one other thing on the books after that. If you've never seen a horse auction before, we're going to be bringing the harness horse, one of the auctions to you. Tell people more about that, David.
We've been contacted about doing this auction, and the details are still being worked out. But if anyone knows me, my mind's been racing. Just trying to think
racing,
what kind of...
was that a
pun? No, that was not a pun.
Okay.
That was an accident. But just what kind of shots, what kind of content would be... I would love to get interviews with trainers after they maybe, inspect a yearling or something like that, or reactions after, a horse goes through the ring that might be more or less than what people thought. Just all that kind of stuff. And so we're looking at the Illini Classic sale on Labor Day, trying to figure out something over there with them, trying to get, a couple cameras over there if we can, just to get some broadcasts, because, we've had a great response to this, and we want to keep it rolling.
Now we're talking about we should have a camera on the show ring. Then we'll have another camera that will be on the bidder board. As far as that's concerned, is that like a digital board there?
Yeah, well, is it digital? I think it's actually just they punch the keys up and it's just lights like an old scoreboard, I think.
Okay.
It used to be anyway. I used to run it when I was younger.
All right.
But
you're so old now.
I'm so old.
What are you, hole 36?
I'm 36.
I've got underwear that old.
Well, I was saying on the way over here, my first drive, my first race ever as a driver was at Petersburg Fair, Menard County, 2008. So yeah, I'm looking around this track and a couple memories are kind of popping up right now for sure.
Okay. And so you can advertise with us. You can do
donations,
anything that you want to do as far as that's concerned. And we'll take a break to give our sponsors some time here.
I don't see
particularly
any officials coming over, so we got some time.
All right. We'll be back after these messages.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate. We've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Back with you on Harness Tube. We want to thank you for coming on today and being a part of what's going on here at the racetrack. We're at the Menard County Fair. And here in Petersburg, Illinois, 11 races on tap for you tonight. Post time for the first race will be 6:30. We're working, trying to get our sound hooked up. We haven't seen the sound man yet to know what's going on with the sound. So when we get that all figured out, we'll make sure that we have sound. But that's the only thing we haven't found out here with that. And so we appreciate what's going on and everything that is happening tonight and the people that are doing those things. So with that, let's talk about some of the other things that we want you to do. We'd like for you to go to our Facebook site and our YouTube site and either like, subscribe, or follow us, whichever is appropriate for that. If you could like us on Facebook, that'd be great, or follow us. And then on YouTube, there is a subscribe button, and if you hit that subscribe button, what happens with that is that you will get notified when we go on the air. And so you'll know when we're on the air and when we're broadcasting. So with that, we want you to do that. Also, you can send messages to David Brink at harnesstube@gmail.com. You can hear a shout out live on the air. We want to know where you're watching from, maybe who your favorite horse is, and what's going on with that. So we're just checking to see what's going on there. And I just saw David go up into the booth, so we may take a moment of silence here when things start working to see if I'm getting any feed at all from what's going on upstairs in the booth. Going to be different if we don't have that.
Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Go ahead and give it to me again.
Check, check. 1, 2. Audio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
As you can hear, we've got an audio check. We are good to go with what's going on. So we appreciate the help from the sound people to getting us sound and helping us out with that. So we're ready to go this evening as far as everything's concerned. Again, from the backstretch, take a picture. You can even send David a picture with that. We'd love to see the watch party that you're having or the group of people that you're watching with, and send that to us. We'll get it on a feed one, probably not tonight, but we can do a shout out to you. Again, harnesstube@gmail.com. harnesstube@gmail.com. That will get you on the backstretch and get you a shout out with the things tonight. And David, that sound worked out just fine.
Good, good. I found the guy. He was right here. We plugged it in. We rolled it. We went good. And he said the national anthem will come through that channel too, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. It might be a little hot, but I think we're good.
All right, that sounds great. So we're ready to go here. And let's see, how far away from post time are we?
I got 16 minutes yet. 16
minutes yet to post time. Let's take a look at this first race.
No officials, no drivers changes. Yeah, we got to fill some time, Steve.
Yeah, we. My buddy Phil. Okay. All right, with that, let's look at it. We've got MC Skyscraper 2, Nick Prather horse, driven by Nick Prather, driven that in Rushville and Cambridge and Decatur. So we've seen this horse 3 times this year, and it looks like, what, a first, a fourth, and a third with MC Skyscraper 2. And then Delight Moon, a Tom Simmons horse, driven by Phil Knox. And we've seen that horse 3 times this year. Or is it 4? No, 4 times this year.
You know, that Delight Moon looks like it might be for real in here, you know. I think that's just a test.
We'll pull that back because I don't think it is.
But yeah, Delight Moon's really coming into form. Got a win, last start out at Knoxville in 2-7, last quarter in 29-1. Throwing some last quarters, but you look, drop down to the 3-horse Paradise Tomorrow, and Kurt Becker has an amazing story about the name of that horse, and I want to say one of the Miller brothers, Kevin or Daryl. Daryl, I want to say, named that horse after his mother, who was fighting cancer and losing that battle, and she was ready to go home, and she said, I'll be in Paradise tomorrow, and that's where the name came from. So I kind of got to cheer for that horse too. Been pacing sub 2 minutes around, Springfield to Coin Circuit, so hopefully Kevin and Wyatt get that thing lined out, and we can have a nice race here.
Yeah, and that horse is, been here and there and a little bit everywhere. It looks like in DeCoin has been its best racing. As far as that's concerned, as far as finishes are concerned.
And it might be the horse likes a mile track better. Maybe it doesn't get around the half mile as well. Maybe it's a horse that they have high aspirations for, and they're kind of just keeping it in these higher pursed races at Springfield and DeCoin. Hard telling, but locking in horns with Delight Moon will be a nice little race here, I think.
Pascalinha
has 2 starts, 2 thirds. You can't overlook somebody who hasn't missed the board yet.
Yeah. Yep. Got to look out there. The purse on this first race is $751, sponsored by
race day payout. The full purse is $1,577, top left up there.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the wrong spot.
When we have Department of Ag money in different fiscal years and whatnot, we get some payouts that aren't on the day, and they have to wait for the money to pass vouchers and whatnot. So,
with the state of Illinois, you have
can
to wait
only
for your
imagine,
money.
Yeah,
you have to wait for your money with the state of Illinois. I didn't realize that.
With my department,
I think they still owe me taxes from 1988.
The funny thing is, if you owe the state money, they assess like 2% a month, and they accumulate it from the day one. And don't forget.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah. So that's your first race with you tonight, and like I say, we've seen a couple of those horses race before. Looking at race 2.
Second division of those fillies, 2-year-old fillies, yeah.
$1,577 total purse on that. Nana's Ashley. We haven't seen that horse. That's a Nick Prather horse in the number 1 slot. Adelicia,
I would say.
Alicia, there you go.
The owner right there is right there in the checkered shirt and the white hat in front of us. Ron Phillips from around here. He was a retired sheriff of Menard County at one time, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they bred this thing for Jamaica. Yep, breeder, owner, the whole thing. Adelicia, I would guess. I think that's how they've been saying it.
All right, and I'm looking at that horse. Not some bad. There's not bad times there.
No, I'm really kind of impressed by those last quarters. If you look at the coin, and then if you throw out the 6:15 mile, last quarters in 27:28. That's moving for a baby horse. So I would say this horse is coming along a little bit slower than normal, and Jamaica will be careful with him, and maybe towards the end of the year, this filly will have something left in the tank then.
Gorgeous American. We saw that horse in Decatur, but so far it's been a DeCoin Springfield horse. It was at Fairfield. Of course, we weren't there. Cornelius Cavett, the trainer, Jordan Patton, driving that horse. We've seen him around the track today.
And the Patton boys, Boo being one of them, they're always tough, so you can't ever count them out, especially in these short fields. The 4-horse race, the Pattons can get there.
Okay. Then the 4-horse Feisty Ann. That's a Rashawn Trigger trainer,
yep.
and Jamal Denson is the driver. We've seen that horse just a couple of times, and again, it's got a first there at Decatur, and it's. But I look in at DeCoin again. You talk about a horse that might like a mile track. Most of them are 203s to 208s. But you get that 158 there.
Right.
And so that horse has got some speed.
The speed is in there. You know it is. And with this race, it's only a 4-horse field, but if anybody's followed these drivers for a while, knows Nick Prather likes the front end, knows Jamaica likes the front end if he has the best horse or thinks he does, and Jay Jordan, if he wants to control a race, if he can. So I would say that, Jamal too, it's only a 4-horse race, but they might be racing for that lead just to try to control it and keep everyone else behind them.
Okay. All right. And like I said, you said some races you don't have to give it all. You don't have to show everything you've got. And,
right.
That's kind of like if you do cross country or you do long distance running, you don't want to show what you've got out of the gate. You want to save some for the end if you have to use it. And there's times when, guess what? You're not going to set a personal record. You're not going to set a track record. And you just need to save the horse and You know, that way the horse knows when you really need it.
These 2-year-olds are so young. You know, I equate them to Little League 12-year-olds, you know, throwing curveballs and stuff, and we ask them to go these miles. So if you can leave some in the tank, you know, it's always better. This is a long season, and we have these fairs going on in the Springfield, the coin races, but then we also go into the state fairs, which then bleeds into Hawthorne opens up in Chicago, and they have a Night of Champions later on this year. So these 2-year-olds have a long season ahead of them, and you don't want to just get everything out of the tank this soon, you know.
Okay. Well, and I noticed we talked about that horse, a horse a little bit that I don't see on the card tonight. Sour Grapes is not on the card tonight.
Sour Grapes won last night at, where did they race last night? Where am I missing? Fairfield, does that sound right?
Yeah, Fairfield
Somewhere?
may be correct, yeah.
So yeah, Sour Grapes just got a win last night. I didn't see the time, but I saw on Facebook where Julie and Phil were posting. You know, they're so great. They're so great about posting on Facebook. And I tell you what, there's certain stables who love sharing their accomplishments with their owners and friends, and we love it. You know, as horsemen, we love seeing people excited and sharing that experience with those around them, because you know what, that's what we all love to do. It's
Check,
what we all
check, 1, 2.
want to keep talking about.
And we've got another horse here, Ingo Bingo Bango.
Ingo Bingo
We have
Bango.
seen that. That's one of our favorites.
I
White
think-
Heat Peanut we've seen before. Punxsutawney, another one of our horses.
Well, I think your favorite's coming up in the 6th race if you would look a little closer at the card.
Oh, Hocus Pocus
There
and
it
Focus.
is,
There you go.
it is. Hocus Pocus and Focus.
Hocus Pocus and Focus. You're right. Name-wise, that and Sour Grapes are my 2 favorite horses for the year.
And they're both quality horses. You know, Hocus Pocus and Focus is 7 starts, 6 wins, 1 second. I think Sour Grapes is 5 or 6 starts, maybe 5 wins, only missing the winner circle that one time at Springfield up against the the good quality 2-year-olds. So both these horses are fun to watch, fun to say, and fun to root for.
All right, with that, we're going to take a station break here. But again, go to from the backstretch and send us, something as far as, what's going on.
Yeah.
Send us if you're
Comment,
watching
dialogue,
someplace.
Whatever. We'll get you a shout out.
David's trying to lose all of his
I'm
stuff
losing
here.
everything tonight.
With that, we'll be back after these messages.
Are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Back with you on Harness Tube, Steve Surratt, David Brink, Lisa Surratt manning the camera for you. We're at the Menard County Fair in Petersburg, Illinois. And we thank you for watching and listening to us tonight. Again, I'll go over the track a little bit for you because, David, we tend to give what you're going to get when you get to the track. Now, at times we can give a little better view than you're going to get at the track because of where we're at, but it's usually whatever blocks the view of the fans is going to be blocked when you watch this on
every
YouTube.
fair is utilizing every inch of space they have anymore, and those infields are getting filled up. I mean, this is a beautiful, we'll call it beverage garden, maybe?
Yeah.
You know, but they did the great thing. They kept it open air so we can kind of see through it if you had the camera low enough. But yeah, every fair is trying to utilize that space as best they can, and this dog's making me nervous. But like you said, when you get to the grandstand, we might be able to a little bit better shot, but you know, it's part of the experience. You know, it's part of the fair atmosphere, I think.
It is, and it's, you know, you will get it around. Lisa might even get you some shots from back behind of what's going on behind us and give you the full fair view here. But you'll get the front stretch, most all of it, with a few posts. You'll get around turn 1 and to the flat stretch there. Just before turn 2, we'll lose you. I don't know whether she can shoot through that building. I think she can a little bit when she's got that, depending on how people are
Mic
standing.
check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Horseman bridle up that first race.
And so we'll get you to about the judge's stand with a few
We do
blocks.
have a good eye on the announcer tonight, don't we? We can
Yeah.
watch.
Post time in 5 minutes. Looking for those 2-year-old filly pacers. MC Skyscraper 2, Delight Moon, Paradise Tomorrow, Pasqualina.
And that's the lineup for tonight. Call to the
One driver
post is
changed
out
in
there.
the first race. Number 1,
course.
McSkyskaper 2 will be driven by Jerome Daniels. Jerome Daniels drives the 1 in race number 1.
And I'm looking up there, and I see how many people are up there in that little space up there, David. And I'm glad we're not up there.
Pick the winner contest tonight. Coupons can be found in your race program. Fill in your name and your address, and under the race number, you put the horse number for that particular race that you think will win that race. There'll be a drawing after each race, and the winner will receive cash courtesy of the Menard County Fair. I want to welcome everybody to a night of harness racing here at the Menard County Fair. 10 races tonight, featuring the Midwestern Illinois Racing Association and the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association 3-year-old and up trot. If you'd please stand now. Elise Ruppel, a 9-year-old 4th grader at Porta Central, is going to honor America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bomb bursting in our gay proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good job,
Elise Ruppel, 9 years old. Great job there, Elise. Beautiful job.
right, David, with that, a couple of things. I want to thank people for actually videoing before we started videoing
Yes.
in 220. And the
And
list
to
of
continue to do it, the ones that we can't make, you know, we got Candy Herzog, Scott
Got a
Hughes
friend or
doing this, the last
somebody that like to be here that can't be here. Harness Tube on YouTube is covering the races here tonight. Stephen, Lisa Surratt, and David Brink are over there in the grandstand. And they'll live stream all 10 races tonight from the Menard County Fair. Just go to YouTube, type in Harness Tube, and you'll see the Menard County Fair site. You can watch these races live from home or on the road.
or after they're done, David, I'll put.
Yeah, all the above.
If you want
Well,
to
in
go
the
back
first
and watch the
race,
you can.
no scratches. Jerome Daniels will drive the 1, MC Skyscaper 2. In race number 2, Jerome Daniels will drive the 1 again, Nana Ashley's. Race 2, Jerome Daniels on the 1, Nana Ashley's. In race number 3, Jerome Daniels will drive the 3, Super Shark. Also in race number 3, number 4, Tough Enough BC will be driven by Mike Rogers. Mike Rogers on the 4 in race 3. In race number 4, Darla Martin will now drive the 2, RNK's Little Miss Ann. Race 4, the 2 will be driven by Darla Martin. No changes in race number 5. Race 6 and 7 are both clear. Race 8 is good. In race number 9, we got a scratch. Number 4, Midnight Chrome, and race number 9 has been scratched. Race 9, scratched the 4. Race number 10, scratched the 6, Hey Freaky. Race 10, scratched the 6, Hey Freaky. And race 11 is clear. 11 races on the card tonight. I think I said 10 earlier, but you can see there's 11. There's coupons for your Pick the Winner contest. Fill those coupons in and pick a horse, and they'll pick up those coupons after every race. If your name is drawn out and you've picked the winner, you'll receive $10 courtesy of the Menard County Fair.
David, I'll pop in here real quick.
First race, sponsored by Louis Lineberger and Bruce Harmony.
We want to thank our donors that generously give to keep this for free. If you would like to donate to keep us on the air,
2-year-old
you
Philly
can do
Pacers
that.
in this first race.
And also with that, you can do that at Venmo or PayPal. You go at Harness Tube on Venmo or Facebook.
And if you like our banter, if you like our dialogue, keep the donations coming. I mean, we can do this as well as running commercials. It's up to you. We'll leave it in the viewers' hands.
Okay. And again, from the backstretch, we want you to be doing that from the backstretch. We've got the race coming up for you. We'll list the horses up here, and we'll turn it back over to Ed Teefee.
Victories here tonight, but this is a nice field of fillies. Coming on now for race number 1.
All right. David, I know you got the changes down
ready
there,
for our
didn't
first
you?
shot.
Fillies are out now for the first
Here it
race.
comes.
Fillies are out, race 1.
Do we have any scratches or anything in this first race?
First race driver, the 1 would be Jerome Daniels.
Okay, I'll get that switched over.
I think Nick has him on most of his horses tonight.
That's on the 1.
The 1, MC Skyscaper 2.
All right, we'll get down there.
I think I typed in Skyscraper, but the name is actually Skyscaper. The dad, Yankee Skyscaper, for whatever reason, in my mind is Skyscraper, and I cannot get that right for the life of me.
So you're telling me I need to change that?
I don't think the viewers really mind, but it bugged me when I saw it. I looked up and thought, hey, that's not right.
All right, let me get back here. Race 1.
As if you did hear Ed, it looks like Jerome Daniels will be driving most of the Nick Prather horses. The first race, MC Skyscaper, the 1 horse driven by Jerome Daniels. The second race, the 1
Here's
horse.
the field now for the first race, sponsored by Louis Lineberger and Bruce Harmony. 2-year-old Philly Pacers. Number 1 is MC Skyscaper 2. owned by Deborah McCrae of Atlanta. Nick Prather, the trainer, with Jerome Daniels. 2 Delight Moon, owned by Glenn Bauman of Moki Town. Benita Simmons of Springfield. Tom Simmons, the trainer, with Phil Knox. Number 3, Paradise Tomorrow, owned by Kevin and Daryl Miller of Arthur, Glenn Otto of Arthur, Brian Loman of Broadlands. Kevin Miller trains with Wyatt Avanetti. And number 4, Pasqualina, owned by Eligio Boca of Chicago Heights. Mike Rogers trains and will drive.
All right, with that, you got the driver change there. You've got the horse names, MC Sky Script.
Ready for our first shout out of the night?
Yes.
You want to guess who it is?
Let's
Who's
see.
our loyals?
Our Prathers.
Sandy and Rick Prather from Rushville gave us a shout out. They said they're watching tonight, and they do appreciate the programs being posted online. Being able to see that ahead of time, they said it is really nice. So thanks for watching, guys.
So are they betting with each other? That's my next question. If they send a message back to you, are you betting with each other there at home?
Or just chewing their nails trying to watch Nick and hopefully he stays safe and wins. I don't know.
They don't want to pick another horse because of Nick having a horse in there,
It's hard
right?
to pick against, your own stable, really.
Illinois bred 2-year-old pacing fillies in the Midwestern Illinois Racing Association Colt Circuit, which your own Tom Ostermeyer is the president of. These 2-year-old fillies have turned to starter Mike Titus. And we'll starting gates on the move here. MC Skykeeper 2 and Jerome Daniels, Delight Moon, Phil Knox. Paradise Tomorrow with Wyatt Avanetti and Pasqualina with Mike Rogers. Two-year-old fillies at the head of the stretch. 4 fillies right on the gate here. Here they come. Good start. The 2 winners drive out as a team. Delight Moon on the inside, on the outside Paradise Tomorrow. As those 2 race around the first turn, Phil Knox, Delight Moon leads by a length. Wyatt Avanetti's out there second with Paradise Tomorrow. Racing third, MC Skyscaper 2 with Jerome Daniels. And the trailer early here, Pasqualina and Mike Rogers. A swing past the draw gate and head up the backstretch. It's Delight Moon, the Hypnotic Blue Chip filly. She leads by a length and a half. Paradise Tomorrow, the Sagebrush filly, is right there second. Here comes Mike Rogers. He was fourth, then third, now second. He takes over with Pasqualina. The Ashley's Big Guy filly has made the top on the outside only by a neck. Phil Knox said not so easy, and Delight Moon is going to put her in the hole. Back in the pocket there as they move over to the 3/8 mile marker. It's Delight Moon. Now on top by a 3.5. A little rough gated for a step or two was Pasqualina. Moving up on the outside, Paradise Tomorrow and MC Skyscaper 2 as the fillies race towards that half-mile marker. Delight Moon, a winner of her last start in 2:07.4 at Knoxville, leads by 2.5 lengths. Paradise Tomorrow is still right there second. Pasqualina is racing third. MC Skyscaper is on the move, fourth, third, now second as they move over there to the draw gate. It's Delight Moon, MC Skyscaper making a big move. That Yankee Skyscaper filly's on the outside there second. Paradise Tomorrow getting a nice trip, third on the inside as they move towards the 3/4 mile marker. It's Delight Moon, pretty comfortable on top by a length and a quarter, but here comes Paradise Tomorrow. The battle's on between these 2 fillies who will both have impressive wins already this summer. It's Delight Moon on the inside, Paradise Tomorrow on the outside. MC Skyscaper's chasing those 2 with an 1/8 of a mile to go. It's still Delight Moon. She's been there the whole way. Paradise Tomorrow trying hard, and 3 wide comes MC Skyscaper 2. Delight Moon is still there. Paradise Tomorrow trying hard. Delight Moon, Paradise Tomorrow, Delight Moon, Paradise Tomorrow. It's Delight Moon unofficially by a nose. And that is unofficial. Don't know exactly where the camera's lined up. But from my vantage point, it was Delight Moon by a long nose. Good horse race. I thought it would be. How fast did it go? What's the rest of the fractions? 35. Okay. 1064. Oh, okay.
David, we'll pull things up while they're getting things together there, because I'm sure that they're going to go to the photo finish.
I was in 2:08 and 2 the last half, and 1:01 and 3 last quarter, and 30 and 2/5 of a second. The fractions 35, 106 and 4, 138, 208, 2/5.
Okay.
Well,
we
wait
didn't
for
have
the results
whole race, so
of
I'm
the
not gonna
photo.
update
Which is
those,
fine.
so, yep. But you heard the times
Very
there
tight.
again when we're
It
up
looked to
there
me
in
like
the
it
booth,
was the 2.
We can hear a lot of things up in the booth, David, that we can't hear over here.
And when we're over, we're just kind of subject to the PA announcer, and that's fine.
Yep. So we may have some times where we don't have the quarters up for you, like that race, because we didn't get any of them until the very end of the race. But an exciting race there. I flip-flopped my 1 and 2, and I flip-flopped my 3 and 4 as far as my picks were concerned there. So I would not have got an exacta, and I would not have even got the winner on that. So with that, unofficial, I will have the unofficial finishes up there, but we'll go back to the track announcer at TV.
Kaylee Sharon.
I think they're still waiting.
It's official now. It's the 2, Delight Moon. Delight Moon, a 2-year-old daughter of Hypnotic Blue Chip from the Better's Delight mare, Sir Sink Z-Tam, bred by Kyle Houston, owned by Glenn Bauman of Monkeytown and Benita Simmons of Springfield, trained by veteran Tom Simmons, well driven here, well rated by another veteran, the talented Phil Knox. Wire to wire, holding off a very good filly with the last quarter in 30 and 2/5, the last half in 1:01, 3/5 of a second. Bruce Harmoning's out there with the Harmoning and Lineberger trophy here. He looks like he's got a lot of help out there with their fair royalty and Fran, and they're going to make the Louis Lineberger Bruce Harmoning trophy presentation to trainer Tom Simmons, Phil Knox, and Delight Moon.
Second win on the year.
Philly's won
for
2 in a
Delight
row
Moon.
now. She's won 3 out of her last 5. This mile 2:08 and 2, but a big half and a big last quarter. Ann Snyder out there, who helps us a lot in the Simmons stable. Down there at the head of this one. Bruce Harmoning, who's also been involved in this sport for a long time. Julie Collins coming trackside now to join Phil Knox. Julie's from Arizona, and she's here with Phil. And Ann Snyder for the trophy presentation, the Lineberger Harmoning trophy presentation to Delight Moon. Let's give him a big hand, folks. Great race, great drive, nice filly. And Lineberger and Harmoning, big supporters of the Menard County Fair.
Well, Phil Knox, the winning driver, and we got to see Miss Collins tonight.
Results of the first race now official. Number 1, MC Skyscaper 2 finished 3rd. Number 2, Delight Moon, the winner. Number 3, Paradise Tomorrow was 2nd. And number 4, Pasqualina finished 4th. First quarter was in 35 seconds. The half in 106 and 4. 3 quarters in 138. That mile was in 208, 2/5 of a second. First race checks from the top. 3, 1, 2, 4 on the bottom. 208, 2/5.
All right, David, he turned the mic off, so I think he's going to be off for a minute or so. But a great race for the first race. There was 3 horses that could have won that race.
Yeah, 4 horse.
Second race, another division of the Louis Lineberger Bruce Harmoning sponsored 2-year-old filly pace. In this second division, number 1, Nana Ashley's will be driven by Jerome Daniels. Jerome Daniels on the 1 in race 2.
Yeah, you really saw Phil kind of stave off a couple takes on his lead there, but a nice horse responds with a nice last quarter like that. It's just tough to beat when they get their way. Phil made a great drive, held off the competition when he needed to, didn't use too much, and kept that horse live right through the wire. You know, I was sitting here about on the line, and I thought he put an absolute great drive on that horse, keeping his head in front, turning for home.
Yeah, if it would have been 20 yards longer, I think the Paradise Tomorrow horse would have won that race.
You can't believe how fast their energy kind of depletes, and sometimes they just kind of fold their tent and they're done. And so you have to use that, absolutely cut the corner right, get to just the wire before, because, I mean, if you time it wrong and you're 2 steps early, they blanket by you.
Well, and the thing that we talk about this as far as track, when people run track. Inside is the shortest route.
Yes.
And so most of that race, Paradise Tomorrow, was on the outside of that.
Yeah.
And so that's a longer trip around the racetrack, which means you have to be that much faster.
Yeah, you have to cover that much more ground. Alternatively, though, the turn is not as tight. When you have that extra space, when you're wider, you can kind of bend around the turn a little bit easier. So you'll see horses sometimes pull out, and you wonder, what are they doing out there? Well, they may just be taking the horse wide, to baby them through the turn, make sure they're safe, and then straighten them up and go again. So, yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons. You know, in NASCAR, they'll rail the outside as fast as they can because, you know, they'll rub it if they have to, but we can't do that with these horses. So we try to conserve ground and conserve, the energy as much as we can and get right to that wire and just, leave it all on the track.
Lisa Surratt kind of giving you the flavor of the fair.
This is great.
She's giving you what it might look like if you were here, what you would see. Normally we can't see out of the back of the grandstands because there's some sort of building or wall. Chain link fencing here. We got a food court here this down their way. She probably can't get that, but the tilt-a-wheel
it smells great. That's all I know.
We may have to have some fair food. We're on this side of the thing. Or
so
may have to
tempting.
get some before we leave.
I know, it's so tempting when you're in the midway to sneak off and get a pork chop. I'm a sucker for the grilled, the smoked, that kind of stuff. Fair food's great, the fried stuff, but it hits your gut at the end of the day. Give me a big old pork chop and
well, guess what we had last night?
Pork chops.
No.
Oh.
No.
Funnel cakes.
We had smoked chicken breasts last night and smoked hamburgers.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
A little Gouda on there, maybe. Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
The Gouda makes it good?
Gouda makes it good.
Gouda. All right. We'll go back to Ed.
Rochester, Ryan Sperry of Springfield, Jamaica Patton, the trainer driver. 3 is Gorgeous America, owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood. Cornelius Cavett, the trainer, with Jordan Patton. And number 4, Feisty Ann, owned by Latoya Hewlett of Mississippi. Roshan Trigg trains with Jamal Denson. Well, the only one of these 4 fillies that shows a win is the 2, Adelicia. And it was a very impressive one right early in the season back on June 3rd. This 2-year-old time-to-roll filly wins at DeCoin over the mile track there in an eye-catching 155-3. So Adelicia, a 55-3 win already this year. This is her first start on a half-mile track out of the Jamaica Patton barn. That mile, I think, ranks her as the fastest 2-year-old filly, at least, in the Illinois program this year. And she's right here tonight at the Menard County Fair.
David, we want to remind people to like, follow, or subscribe us. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's a subscribe button there. Hit that subscribe. You'll get notified every time we go on the air.
And we haven't been live for a while now. We had that rain out, but I've seen the subscriptions crawling up lately, so we must be getting into the algorithm lately. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, hit the subscribe button, and you'll get a notification when we go live, and you can't forget when Harness Tube is broadcasting.
And then the thing, if you follow us or like us on Facebook, when David puts a post that a race is
1 and 4 by
up,
the late Ashley's a big guy.
And on Facebook, you'll find my
2
post
time
that
to
has the
roll.
race program for each broadcast we're at. I try to post the program about a half an hour before the races, so that if you're not at the races, you can still follow along. So.
It's on the move, race 2.
Behind the gate,
Weinberger Harmony and the race sponsors.
Back to Ed TV.
For a purse of $1,577. Eighth away. Here they come. Start for the 2-year-old fillies, Adelicia and Jamaica Patton drive out. They get the early lead. Gorgeous American is away second. Off stride goes Feisty Ann. Feisty Ann has made a break. Nana Ashley's is racing third as the 2-year-old fillies move past the draw gate. Adelicia, the time to roll filly, owned locally by Ron Phillips and trainer Jamaica Patton, leads the fillies by 3. This filly already a winner this year in 155-3 at DeCoin. She leads by 6 up the backstretch towards the quarter-mile marker. Racing a second on the inside, Gorgeous American. Then we got Nana's Sisters and Feisty Ann. Jamaica's not waiting for anybody here as he moves over to the 3/8 mile marker with Adelicia. That filly now leads by a dozen lengths off the 3/8, moving towards the half-mile marker. Adelicia, the time to roll filly, now leads by 20, maybe 25 as she moves past the half-mile marker. Looks like she's doing it very easily for Jamaica Patton. Nana's Ashley's moves into second. Racing a third now is Gorgeous American. Then we got Feisty Ann. They pass the half over to the draw gate. Past the 5/8. It's Adelicia. Jamaica Patton now by about 20. As they head up the backstretch, track's just a little heavy here tonight. It'll be interesting to see if this filly can keep going off a half in 101. She was at the first quarter in 31-1, the half in 101, and we'll see how good this filly is. Off the 3/4, she's still got a pretty good kick as she moves over to the 7/8. Off a half in 101. Going to get the 3/4 here momentarily. The 3/4, 131-4. 3/4, 131-4. She leads by 30 lengths. It's all Adelicia, already a winner over a mile track in 55-3. She makes her first start over a half-mile track right here at the home of Ron Phillips and wins it easily for Jamaica Patton. Adelicia. Very tight for second. Looked like Nana's Ashley was unofficially second over Gorgeous America, and then we got Feisty Ann.
Well, David, that was another good race for second and third there.
That mile, a very impressive 2:03 flat. 2:03 flat. Quarter 31-1, half 101, 3/4 131-4. The mile, the quickest by a 2-year-old pacing filly at an Illinois County Fair this year, 2:03 flat.
Yeah, you know.
Track record here. They always have a fast track here. And a few years ago, I remember I was here and Bruce Harmony had this track super fast, and we broke a whole bunch of track records. And so the track record for a 2-year-old filly pacer here is 2 minutes and 2/5, set way back in 2007. Remarkable mile back in 2007 by NJ's Mustang Sally and Ron Gillespie, 2 minutes and 2/5. This mile, one of the fastest ever here by a 2-year-old pacing filly, though. Very impressive, 2:03 flat. Friends back out there with Bruce and the families, the Harmony family. I see Dee Phillips down there. Good to see Mike Cox down there. Adelicia's a 2-year-old time to roll filly from Kira Revrek by Incredible Finale, bred by Petersburg's Ron Phillips, owned by former Sheriff Ron Phillips, Jamaica Patton, the trainer, driver, and Ryan Sperry, trained by Jamaica, driven by Jamaica to a very impressive win here in 2:03 flat, and she wins the blanket courtesy of Louis Lineberger and Bruce Harmony. Great mile there, beautiful mile. Your queen's back out there, Leah Daniels, Junior Miss Leah Melton, Little Miss Kaylee Sharon, making the Lineberger Harmony Trophy presentation to Jamaica Patton with Ron and D. Phillips' Adelicia.
All right, David.
I know Ed's eyes are getting bad, but I don't see the queen out there.
Ron and Dee have had a lot of good horses over the
she's not wearing
years.
her crown.
I think he was just
Teamed up with
announcing off the
Jamaica
sheet.
Patton many times.
She just slapped here, I think.
Had their pictures taken in a
Okay.
lot of winner's circles, folks. Let's give Jamaica a big hand. He put on a good show here with this nice 2-year-old filly owned right here locally. Jamaica Patton and Alicia.
Hey, that's 2 wins. for the
Results of
number
that
2
race
spot
now
there.
official. Number 1, Nana Ashley's, was second. Number 2, Adelicia, the winner. Number 3, Gorgeous American finished third, and number 4, Feisty Ann was fourth. First quarter was in 31 and 1, a half in 101, 3/4 in 131 and 4, the mile 203 flat. Second race checks from the top, 2-1, 3-4 on the bottom, 203. Race number 3 is the first division of the 2.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Back with you on Harness Tube as we get ready for this next race here, David.
Yeah, I'm still on that last race, Steve. I'm looking at that 2-3. That's a big mile for a baby out here. And you know what? When Jamaica left out of there, I thought, uh-oh, he's got his earplugs popped. And usually you do that whenever you want your horse to open up and kind of let loose. So I thought, it's going to be kind of wild, whatnot. And the filly kind of carries her tail high, but then I checked the program, and she's out of Kyra Revrak. Kyra Revrak, if I remember correct, carried her tail exactly the same. She had a little, what we call a little ratty tail, didn't have much hair in it. It stuck straight out when she was going at full speed. It looked like this Adelicia kind of has the same look as her mommy, but she has the speed, that's for sure. That's a really nice mile out here, 2-3 over this track, and
Pavilion.
That's
Trying to talk Karen Harmon into staying up here. She's our associate judge and timer. She's wanting to go to the Pro Wrestling Epic, was in the pavilion tonight at 8 o'clock. Maybe it'll still be going after the horse races. Karen, let's hope so. We need you up here.
All right, David.
Pro Wrestling Epic in the pavilion tonight at 8 o'clock.
If they'd like to advertise with us, they can contact you. The best way actually is through email.
Yep.
harnesstube@gmail.com. If you'd like to advertise or donate, we'll give you the donation sites that you can go to Venmo and to PayPal. Just at HarnessTube,
Yep.
At both of those, you can donate if you're not an advertiser, but if you want to hit the advertisers, that's great. Or give him a call, 312-772-5122.
If you're listening, you're a breeder and you got horses consigned to one of the sales coming up, and you want to get a video maybe of some of your babies before trotting around the paddock before they go to sale, give me a call. We'd love to get a video up there of some yearling videos or sale videos or something. We have this platform now. We want to use it for the horsemen as best we can. So if you have a product or service or anything that might fit with what we do, give us a shout.
All right, and people will ask why we are doing this. We're doing this to promote harness racing. If you get into harness racing, you'll be hooked, folks, from a lot of different standpoints. And like any other sport, they're looking for judges, scorers, timers, photo finish people. We're looking for people. If you're really interested in it, contact David Brink, and we'll teach you how to run the equipment. You can go along and run the camera for us or do those. We'd like to do more races next year, and it's not physically possible for Lisa and I to take some vacation and to do all the harness racing that we could do.
And I wish I had this opportunity whenever I was in college studying communications, doing a broadcast class or photography class or something, because wow, this is real life hands-on experience. I mean, this is as real as it gets. in a quote-unquote low-pressure situation, you know what I mean? If someone followed us along, we could get them set up and taken care of and learn the ropes. And, they have any kind of interest in YouTube or cameras or video editing or even digital editing, graphics, that kind of stuff. It all ties into what we're doing here.
And absolutely, Horseman, you can go out there and download our races. I believe you can download them, and you can make your own videos of your horse running in all the races.
If someone was real savvy, they could compile all the races from the summer for a horse and put them into a spliced package, and I would have to get kind of creative, but that's something that's possible.
All right, we're going to get ready for racing here. We'll be back with
April's Big Guy on Blaflaco Family Farms, Roshan Trigg. Roshan trains with Jamal Denson. 3 Super Shark, owned by Rushville's George Pollock. Nick Prather trains with Jerome Daniels. 4 is Tough Enough BC, owned by Don and Sherry Huddleston and Kincaid. Nick Prather trains, and Mike Rogers will drive. And 5, I Understand, owned by Arthur's Kevin Miller, the trainer with Wyatt Avenatti. $2,626 at stake here in race number 3, the Charles Lott Memorial. This should be a good one. The 1, Michelle's Girls Crush. Ashley's Big Guy colt has only made 1 start, and that was a winning effort at Knoxville in 206-1. April's Big Guy has a second and a third in 5 starts this year. Super Shark was an impressive winner at Decatur in his lifetime debut in 205-4. Was second at his hometown fair in Rushville a couple of weeks ago. For Tough Enough BC, only 1 start. And number 5, I Understand, that Hypnotic Blue Chip colt has already won 3 of 7 this year. He's been on the board first, second, or third in all 7 of his 7 starts. He's got a win in 3 out of his last 4 starts. He was a winner at Cambridge in 204-3. He won his last start at Fairfield for Wyatt Avenatti in 207 flat. Should be another good one here. Race 3 in the Lott Memorial.
as we get ready before the gate. Any horses of interest for you in this?
This whole race is interesting to me. You know, the one horse we saw win up at Cambridge, you know, in a nice mile, first lifetime start, last quarter. The 2 horse, you know, has been around, has been racing okay, has a mile sub 2 minutes.
5 starters here, 5 on the gate. That's what we start here at the Menard County Fair, 5 across. If we have more than 5, they start in the back tier. But these 5 will all be on the starting gate of Mike Titus.
The 3 horse
wings are extended, and they are moving towards the gate.
Rushville's George Pollock, and that's kind of a sentimental favorite of mine. But the 5 horse has been tough. So between the 1, 3, and 5, you know, this race really could be a slugfest, you know.
Well, even though it was at 207, tough enough.
Yeah,
BC
you can't
won
sleep
that
on.
You know, won
3
a
of
race.
5 already with
Maybe
wins
didn't have
this
to be
year.
pushed in that one
Just
race that it was in.
2-year-olds. None of these have a whole lot of experience, but Michelle's Girl Crush was a winner in his only start. Super Shark has a win in his second. And the 5, I Understand, has won 3 out of his last 4. They're 16th out. Here they come. Good start again from the outside. I Understand in Wyatt Avenatti. I Understand with the lead. Michelle's Girl Crush is racing second. Racing third around that first turn is April's Big Guy. Moving over to the draw gate, I Understand, a winner of 3 out of his last 4. He leads by 2. Michelle's Girl Crush is right there second. Racing third is April's a Big Guy, followed by Super Shark back there fourth. And Tough Enough BC's the trailer. But they go single file towards that quarter-mile marker, and they're all in contention here. Right up against each other as they move into the upper turn for the first time. I Understand by a length and a half. Michelle's Girl Crush is still right there second. April's Big Guy is racing third. Super Shark is fourth. And Tough Enough BC is the trailer as they move past that 3/8 mile marker into the stretch the first time. Now from the back, here comes Tough Enough BC. He moves up on the outside looking to pick up some cover. None is developed yet. Now April's Big Guy pulls out. He moves at the leaders off the half. And they move over to the 5/8. The half was in 105 and 1. 105 and 1. Moving over to the 5/8 mile marker off a half and 5 and 1, as I understand, by 2.5. Michelle's Girl Crush is second on the inside. A bad break on the outside. Off stride there went April's Big Guy. That was a nasty one. They move up the backstretch now towards the 3/4 mile marker. I understand it's going to be the one to catch. Michelle's Girl Crush is right there second. Super Shark is with the leaders third. They move into the final turn off the 3/4. The 3/4 were in 135 and 3. 135 and 3. I understand the one to catch with 1/8 of a mile to go. Still second, Michelle's Girl Crush. Super Shark coming on the outside here late. But I understand the Hypnotic Blue Chip Colt is the best here. Still under the hold of Wyatt Evanetti. He puts him away by 4. I understand he's won 4 out of his last 5.
Another good race, David.
Great mile. You know, that dominating fashion kind of looked like. I thought it'd be a little, they were bunched up more in the first half, but I understand just kind of swelled up in that second half and made it his own race.
And that was a horse that you wanted us to look
That mile
at
was
there.
in 2:05 flat. Last half in 59 and 4/5 of a second. The last quarter in 29 and 2/5. Very impressive effort here by I Understand. A mile in 2:5 with the last half in 59 and 4. Indicative of the fine job the track crew has done here. Getting this track in condition. Seemed a little heavy early, but it's pretty good when a 2-year-old pacer paces a half in 59 and 4 and the last quarter in 29 and 2/5 of a second. Charles Lott family, been big supporters of the Menard County Fair and everything Menard County for many generations. Charles Lott, longtime sheriff here in Menard County. Family's been presenting blankets here for as long as I've been coming here, and that's close to 50 years. So the Lott family here again tonight to make the Charles Lott Memorial Trophy presentation to a very talented 2-year-old pacer here. I Understand. He's a 2-year-old gelded son of the Art Major's son, Hypnotic Blue Chip, from the Go By Girl, a Ohio-bred mare by Phelan Frisky, bred by Kyle and Amy Houston, owned by Arthur's Kevin Miller, trained by Kevin. Good to see Daryl Miller down there. Hi, Daryl. Always good to see you. Keep an eye on Kevin, okay? Don't let him lead you astray. He can do it. Daryl Miller, also from Arthur, been in this game for a long time, along with Kevin Miller, all from the Irvin Andy Miller family. But they've done a great job in their own right here. And this is a nice colt. Owned and trained by Kevin Miller, well driven by Wyatt Evanetti. He's won 4 out of his last 5. This mile 2:05. Last quarter in 29 and 2. Last half in 59 and 4. He wins the Charles Lott Memorial. Let's give him a big hand, folks.
Okay, David, a couple of minutes for us to talk. We talked about advertisers. We have 8 race dates left for you. You can see those up on the screen, starting with July 25th, Monday, Urbana, for the Champaign County Fair with 6 p.m. post time. We're usually on about 30 minutes prior to the post time.
I got that on Tuesday.
Is that on Tuesday?
That's
Tuesday,
yeah.
25th. Okay.
I was just double checking myself.
Okay, Tuesday the 25th. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
The
we'll be
23rd is on Sunday. I should know my Sundays and I'd be able to track that out, but I wasn't looking. Then the following Sunday, we started Lincoln for 2 days, Charleston for 3 days, and Mount Sterling for 2 days.
Finish up at home, yeah.
Yep, and so we're happy about that. But want to talk about that a little bit, and we talked about advertising with us. We'll go to thanking the people who have promoted and done social media for us and done those things for us.
You know, I got stepped on last time a little bit, I think, Ed, but I do want to thank those, Scott Beal, Candy Herzog, whoever else has filled in this year for races, for fairs that we haven't been able to get to, and step up and do some Facebook Living, because, you know, the horsemen really appreciate being able to see videos. It's changed the game a little bit. And, you know, when we're not able to do it, they're still stepping up for us.
Yes. And it's a way to get new owners.
Yes.
It's a way to get new people involved in it, new fans.
And you see those videos getting shared around so much, and people tagging it. You know, that's what it's all about. Is you want to share that excitement, share your victories with your friends and family, and you know, having the videos online is the way to do that.
Yeah, and we want to tell you, like, for instance, the people that have been watching us on YouTube from Petersburg, we hope you're out here tonight watching the race here in person. The same thing with any of the other races coming up that we have. If you're a local person, get out to the track and see what it's like to be live.
You know what? We can't broadcast the smells. We can't broadcast, you know, the bleachers shaking. It really is a whole environment.
Believe me, there's some smells I don't think we'd want to be able to broadcast there, David.
But I'm telling you, these fairs, it's just a whole experience here, you know, and it really is, you know, it's wholesome family fun. You see kids around the grandstand running, cheering, playing. You know, hopefully these memories that'll stick with them, and they'll grow up and remember going to the races with grandpa or grandma or uncle or whoever, and you know, and remember this for their future.
Sterling over in Brown County.
Well, he's talking about it.
Be racing there on August 5th and 6th.
So we're getting ready to
do over 100 Little League and high school and grade school and any kind of ball game you can think of.
200.
Boys, girls. They do all those games and do a great job. And with the help of David Brink and their fine sponsors, they've been able to do quite a few of our harness races throughout the summer circuit this year. Harness Tube on YouTube.
You know, it's always a nice thing when we don't have to self-plug, self-promote.
Well,
someone else do it for us.
Yep, and absolutely. And guys, we enjoy your feedback. We'd like for you to. We got a thing called From the Backstretch.
Yes.
And it's really easy for you to send a comment. You know, I've thrown out several different things. You can
We've got the 3-year-old filly trotters out there.
Or that you're just watching, where you're watching from. We're trying to collect.
You know, that was an intended score. It looks like it was. I think they're going to the gate. This is race number 4. El Brebra's owned by Don and Sherry Huddleston at Kincaid. Jamaica Patton, the trainer driver. 2 is RNK's Little Miss Ann, owned by Jacob Radel of Edgewood. Jacob Radel is the trainer with Darla Martin. Number 3, Miss Josie, owned by Kevin and Alyssa Brook-Bender of Hamilton. Kevin Bender, the trainer driver. Number 4, Ingo Bingo Bengo, owned and driven by Brendan Potts, trained by Mike Rogers, all of Springfield. 4th race trotters going to the gate.
You know, Steve, you mentioned From the Backstretch and watch parties and getting people together and throwing it on the TV and watching with a group of people. This past weekend I had the boys in my house, and we pulled up the Meadowlands Pace, had a big broadcast. They had one of the biggest nights, 2.5 million in purses, and got to watch Illinois native and County Fair alumni Tim Tetrick win the $680,000 Meadowlands Pace on top of behind Confederate. You know, and we were betting. The boys were picking horses, and if they beat me, they got $1 or whatnot. And Harrison put a little bit of money in his pocket for an action figure he was been.
Roger Weimer is your track superintendent, and his crew has done a great job. Roger Weimer, track superintendent, done a nice job here. No horses train here, so it's kind of tough sometimes as we travel through the county fair circuit to get these racetracks in good shape when there's no horses trained on the facility. And this track just keeps getting better tonight as we race along here.
The nice part about this track, you're just outside of Springfield by less than 30 minutes outside of Springfield. So small town for you to train a horse.
El Bray, RNK's Little Miss Ann.
A big, I mean,
Miss Josie and Ingo Bingo Bengo. They're in behind the gate. The gate's an 8th away. Beautiful night here in Menard County. These trotting fillies right in position here. Here they come. A great start, beautiful start. Kevin Bender, Miss Josie away well. All three of those front three across the racetrack as we race into the first turn. El Bray Bray on the inside. Miss Josie's right there second. On the outside, that's Ingo Bingo Bango. El Bray Bray has made a break. El Bray Bray has made a break for Jamaica Patton. On the inside now, or make that on the outside, that's Ingo Bingo Bango. Ingo Bingo Bango, Miss Josie, starting along nice there second. Ingo Bingo Bango's been parked the whole way on the outside. Now he clears for Brendan Potts. So that filly, Ingo Bingo Bango, now leads by a length and a half. Miss Josie is trotting second. El Bray Bray is there third. After the break, R&K's Little Miss Ann is the trailer. 3-year-old trotting fillies move past the 3/8 mile marker. They're in the stretch here with Ingo Bingo Bango, who was a winner at Rushville in 2:08 and 2. She leads by 3 for Brendan Potts. Miss Josie's trotting along nicely there for Kevin Bender second. El Bray Bray's recovered on the outside right there third. So they race around that turn over towards the 5/8 mile marker. Ingo Bingo Bango, and probably there Miss Josie and El Bray Bray might have tangled a little bit. They were racing pretty close there, and they're now both off stride. Out of the turn, up the backstretch, Brendan Potts, Ingo Bingo Bango. They've got things in total control here with a quarter mile to go. El Bray Bray, after the break, has come on to be second. Miss Josie is third. R&K's Little Miss Ann is fourth. Ingo Bingo Bango, a winner in 2:08 and 2 earlier this year, was at the quarter in 33 the half and 104 and 4, and the 3/4 were in 137. She's at the head of the stretch, and she's all alone here for Brendan Potts. Ingo Bingo Bango by 25. El Bray Bray was second, Miss Josie third. R&K's Little Miss Ann home fourth.
David, I think I jinxed the 2-horse after I said that. After 2 races, the 2-horse has not won. In fact, the 2 horses ended up back in the back as we take a look at the finishers. Again, we're not over in the booth. Normally, even if the announcer doesn't give the times, we hear the times, and those are put up. So that's why that's not on tonight. We're clear across the track from what's going on.
If you look in the first turn, you can see them setting up right now a pylon. They just got it flipped back up. You saw it got a couple.
Mile was in 2:10, quarter in 33, half in 104 and 4, 3/4 in 137, the mile 2:10. 33, 104, 4, 3/4 137, the mile 2:10 flat.
This first turn's always been kind of dangerous. You kind of funnel in. It looks nice and wide, but once you make that break, you see that chain link fence sits out against the track there. There's a pond, and so when the horses feel that chain link fence kind of
race sponsored by Ron and Dolores Phillips.
I've seen horses make breaks there for years.
And Heyman down there with the trophy. Of course,
it's
Ron and
like on that particular turn, you wouldn't want to
big
be
supporters
on
of
if you could get a
everything
horse
around Petersburg for
if you
decades.
Bend around the turn, it's
had a lot of very good racehorses.
It feels like it just kind of comes around at you.
Ron, a former sheriff here in Menard County, and the Ron and D. Phillips Trophy is going to go to the Mike Rogers train, the Brendan Potts owned and driven Ingo Bingo Bango in 2:10 flat. This Yankee Valor filly's now won 2 out of her last 3. Yankee Valor from Jesse, Wyoming by Wilson, Wyoming, bred by Arthur, Illinois, Kenny Chupp. Brendan Potts, Springfield based, along with the trainer Mike Rogers. Brendan, quite the entrepreneur, but likes to drive these harness horses and does a nice job, and he wins by open links here in the Phillips Stable-sponsored Midwest 3-year-old filly trot with Ingo Bingo Bango, 2:10.
Dave Brink, we try to get you a little better view as it's got kind of overcast here, and we had a filter on to keep sun out. But we're ready to give you some harness racing here tonight. If you saw the finish on that race, it was another good race out there, and we saw some action on the backstretch, some people moving.
Yeah, and if you look close enough, you might even see Brendan Potts smiling in that winner's circle. He was coming across the wire. You know, no one has more fun besides maybe Steve Renard or somebody, but these guys are out here doing it just for the love of it.
Number 1, El Bray was second. Number 2, RNK's Little Miss Ann was fourth. 3, Miss Josie finished third. And number 4, Ingo Bingo Bango was the winner. First quarter was in 33 seconds. The half in 104 and 4/5. 3 quarters in 137. The mile was in 2:10 flat. Race 4 checks from the top. 2-4-3, 1 on the bottom. 2:10 for the winner, Ingo Bingo Bango.
The heart of everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Back with you on Harness Tube. We appreciate you watching, listening, whatever you're doing as we get ready for race 5. Send David Brink a message. We call this Back from the Backstretch. Send us a message. Tell us what state you're watching from. Hey, if you're a regular watcher, we'd like to hear from you. If you're a new watcher, we'd like to hear from you also. That's harnesstube@gmail.com. Send an email message to him, and you can do that. From the backstretch. As we get ready for race 5, we want to remember the people that donate that make our racing here free, and that's our donor list on that. You can donate also if you go to Venmo or PayPal, whichever one you want, or if you want to send an old-fashioned check at Harness Tube, that's at Harness Tube in both Venmo and PayPal, or send David Brink a check at P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling, Illinois 62353. Want to appreciate all of our sponsors and all of our donors who keep this going as we get ready for race 5. We're not quite halfway through the race circuit for this evening. As we get ready for race 5, it's YF Peanut, which as Ed talked about, maybe winning on the air. We've seen it race several times this year. It's got several 2 seconds, a third, 2/4, and a fifth. Times range anywhere from 2:04 to 2:07. And I'll note that early in the year, Carlinville 2:07, Decatur 2:07, Newton 2:06, Cambridge 2:05, 2:04 at Rushville, 2:04 at the Knox County Fair. And then we've got Kinky Paco. Kinky Paco, we saw a race at the Knox County Fair, the Rushville Fair, or Knoxville and the Rushville Fair. And those are the only two fairs, I think, this year that we have seen.
Bring him on, Jerome. Waiting for Jamal, but he'll be out there momentarily.
Got a first and
So,
second.
Jerome, let's parade him in the Snyder Crane Service race number 5. Jamal's coming on now.
And so with that, the third horse, Jammin' High, for Sean Trigg. Second, third, fourth, 2 fourths, couple of sixth. And its times basically a 2:07, and it's been faster.
Race 5, 3-year-old Colton Gelding Trotters for a purse of $2,429. Race sponsored by the Snyder Crane Service. Number 1, YF Peanut. Owned by Jerome Daniels of Springfield. Jerome, the trainer driver. 2 is Kinky Paco, owned by Kevin and Alyssa Bender of Hamilton. Kevin Bender, the trainer driver. Number 3 is Jammin' High, owned by Ron Knuppavana, Roshan Trigg, the trainer. Jamal Denson will drive. 4, Smokin' on Pizzazz, owned by Jerome Daniels of Springfield. Cornelius Cavett, the trainer, with Jordan Patton. And number 5, Judge Me Not, owned by Ron Phillips of Athens. Jamaica Patton of Rochester. Sherry Bodolovic of Lakewood, Colorado. Jamaica Patton, the trainer driver.
This is the race mile. This is what the horse actually did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so the horse finishes. I get my sheets messed
It's
up.
a lot of information for sure.
Okay, all right.
So like Jammin' High, that last line, 7:14. The race went in 1:59.3 at Springfield. Jammin' High made a break in the stretch. Looks like an X5 in the last column. Last quarter, 28.2, good last quarter. But trotted in 2 minutes and 2 fifths.
Okay, so the horse to watch out of this is Smokin' Pizzazz and
1 or 4,
YF Peanut. 1 and 4.
We talked about that first turn, though. It makes me a little nervous about YF Peanut. I don't know if Jordan or Jerome can kind of race to that first turn and see who can get there and establish their feet into that turn first, but that might be make all the difference here.
And yeah, I've been looking at the wrong part here, but those two horses to me are the two horses that stand out. Then you've got kind of a middle-of-the-road horse in Jammin' High.
Jammin' High
and Judge Me Not.
Yeah, both of those are solid race horses, and given the right trip, can trip out and step up. So I would look for the 1 and 4, but they could make a miscue. You never know. It could end up going to a longer shot, if you will, in a 5-horse race.
And to tell you what, you've got 5 good drivers in this race. I mean, that the top of the line drivers in this race that have been winning this year.
Yes.
I mean,
and
we talk
there's
about
a lot
horses
to
being
that.
hot, and we talk about drivers that are hot.
There's a lot to that. We have such a small drivers colony on this fair circuit that, if someone's liking a track or liking a night, watch out. They might just be the hot hand.
David, I'm just going to let
You're
fans
fine.
know
I
I'm
think-
probably not going to do the quarter times
I
because
think that's a good idea.
we're not
because
getting them.
I don't think even Ed's getting them from the timer until partway through the mile. So we'll get those at the end of the mile when they're official.
Yeah, well, you'll be able to hear those.
Oh,
We'll get those
here comes
too.
Ed. Maybe if you get the microphone up.
Race 5 Trotters. Here they come. Oh, great start here. All 5 on the gate, all 5 off very nicely. Smokin' on Pizzazz on the far outside. As they race into the first turn, Judge Me Not's out there. Judge Me Not, Smokin' on Pizzazz. Smokin' on Pizzazz on the inside. Judge Me Not on the outside. Back there third is Jammin' High. Then we got YF Peanut. And the trailer now, Kinky Paco. Kinky Paco now takes over fourth. They head up the backstretch past that quarter-mile marker. Judge Me Not. Judge Me Not on top by 2 lengths. Right there, second is Smokin' on Pizzazz. First quarter was in 32 seconds flat, 32 seconds off the quarter. Judge Me Not and Jamaica Patton lead by 2.5 lengths. Smokin' on Pizzazz is still there second. Jammin' High is racing a third. Off-stride Kinky Paco back there fourth. Coming on now YF Peanut, but still trailing. They move over to the draw gate. Half and 104. 104 past the half. At the draw gate, past the 5/8, it's Judge Me Not. Judge Me Not with the lead. Smoking on Pizzazz is still right there second. Jammin' High is racing third. YF Peanut is trotting very fast back there fourth, but he's out of it. He's probably 30 back, but he's trotting fast now after a couple miscues, and the trailer is Kinky Paco. In the final turn, Judge Me Not by 4.5 lengths. Another Ron Phillips owned colt, 3/4 and 135 and 2. They're at the head of the stretch. Judge Me Not looking for his first win of the year. Looks like he's going to get it. Jamaica Patton's going to do it again. Jamaica Patton with Ron Phillips's Judge Me Not wins it by 4. Jammin' High was home second and Smoking on Pizzazz, followed by YF Peanut and Kinky Paco. That mile was in 2:07, fractions of 32, 104, 135 and 2, 2:07, 32, 104, 135 and 2, 2:07 for the trotting mile. Judge Me Not, a 3-year-old gelded son, I can't afford it, from SH2, who was a stakes-winning Cheyenne Spur filly a few years back for Ron Phillips. Judge Me Not's owned by Ron Phillips, Jamaica Patton, and Sherry Belodovic of Athens, Rochester, and Lakewood, Colorado. Trained by Jamaica Patton, driven by Jamaica to an impressive win here. First of the year for this 3-year-old, 2:07. Al Snyder's out there with D. Phillips again. Fran Heyman. They're going to be giving the Snyder Crane Service blanket away here momentarily to Judge Me Not. Judge Me Not, owned by Ron Phillips, Jamaica Patton, and Sherry Belodovic. Trained and driven by the Springfield-based Jamaica Patton. One of the top stables year in, year out here in the state of Illinois. Jamaica does it again here, this time with Judge Me Not in 2:07 flat, winning the blanket courtesy of the Snyder Crane Service.
Oh. Okay. All right.
D. Phillips and Sherry Belodovic both out there, trackside. Sherry's here all the way from Lakewood, Colorado. Results of the fifth now official. Number 1, YF Peanut finished 4th. 2, Kinky Paco was 5th. Number 3, Jammin' High finished 2nd. Number 4, Smokin' on Pizzazz was 3rd. Number 5, Judge Me Not, the winner. First quarter was in 32 seconds, the half in 1:04. 3/4 in 1:35 and 2. The mile 2:07 flat. Race 5 from the top. 4, 5, 2, 3, 1 on the bottom. 2:07. And the race sponsored by Snyder Crane Service. Big thank you to all these sponsors. They help make your county fairs possible.
I can't hear. I can hear myself. Still don't have you. Well, we're waiting for Steve to test his audio over there. He got some difficulties, so I'll just go ahead and fill some time here.
No changes in race number 6. Don't forget to pick the winner contest. Those coupons available in your race programs. Race 6, the Everett Porter Moss family sponsored race.
Talk about coming out to the fair. That pick the winner. I just heard somebody outside the grandstand mention they just won $10. We're betting for free.
Puxatina, Hocus Pocus and Focus. Danish Lullaby and YF Starlight. You're due out.
if you have a chance to make it out to one of these fairs to play that, we were hot there. If you have a chance to make it out and play that pick the winner, please do. It's a lot of fun. You know, the kids are cheering. Everyone's, you know, it's a small grandstand. Your chances of being the one picked are high, and $10 in your pocket's never a bad thing. Steve's still working on some audio stuff over there. You know, we were talking about if we had to handicap that fifth race. I did awfully. I think I was picking YF Peanut and Smoking on Pizzazz, finished 3-4 in there. But that's racing, right? You know, that's what happens. And right before we went to the gate, you know, Steve was talking about how if drivers get hot at the right times, what can happen. And you know, what a better example than Jamaica Patton. You know, he's here at, I don't want to call it his home track, but one of his biggest owners, Ron and Dee Phillips, you know, live right here in Petersburg, and they've been with Jamaica for 20 years probably. So Jamaica's very familiar with this track. He's driven it about every year since he's been up here, so 25 years. And he knew his horse, he knew his competition, and he knew the track, and he had confidence. And sometimes that's all you need, you know. If you have a game plan and it's a good game plan and you can execute it well, you don't have to be the best horse all the time. Well, let's come on down here with the starting gates now. Got the wings open and everything. A lot of stuff happening today. Steve's still working on his audio over there, but I'm working on this gate. So let's look forward, I guess, to the sixth race while we have some time here. The sixth race is a 2-year-old filly trot, going for a purse of $2,549, the Everett Porter Moss Family Memorial. 4 starters, Punxsutawney and Jerome Daniels for Rashon Trigg, and Steve's favorite horse, Hocus Pocus and Focus, from the barn of Jamaica Patton. 3-horse Danish Lullaby and Doc Steve Menard. The 4-horse YF Starlight, Darla Martin Loman. You lost me? I can't hear myself now. Now I'm back. The 4-horse YF Starlight for Darla Martin Loman. It's hard. It's hard to overlook the 2-horse Hocus Pocus and Focus here. You know, just been absolutely dominant around these county fairs. 7 starts, 6 wins, 1 second. Made, you know, almost $9,000. Got a market 2.8. Trot in last quarters, better than 30 seconds around county fairs. You know, I'm really looking forward to see what Ron and Dee Phillips have here with this thing, because, you know, this little filly has been a lot of fun for him at the fairs, and we're getting close to stake season, and we'll see what we can do and step up against some of that richer company, you know, here in a couple weeks. Looks like horses are gathered on the backstretch over there. I'm waiting for the officials to call the race. We can keep looking forward, though. We got a few races left. 2-year-old filly trot coming up. We still have the 2-year-old colt trot, followed by the 3-year-old paces. The filly pace is the 8th race, 9th race is the colt pace. I guess I'd have a moment here. I want to give a shout out to Travis Yates. I saw on Facebook he was sharing a post of mine and really being supportive. Travis was a professor of mine back at Quincy University in the communications department, in the broadcast division. We started a news broadcast back in college called QUTV, Quincy University Television, and we did a news broadcast once a week. And that was my first time kind of getting into the broadcast experience, and Travis was the one that set that up and you know, brought that program to Quincy University and had a tie-in with WGEM, and we're putting some students over there. And it was a great program, and Travis has been since I had this idea. I called him up and, you know, ran it by him, and he's been a great supporter. Talked me along, sent me some ideas. You know, he's down in Florida now, but he's one of the good guys. I want to appreciate Travis. Thanks for all your support, all your help, all your watching. Driver changes. Steve's asking for driver changes. The 6th race is clean. No driver changes coming up. Looks like we have the starters out in the track. I think I've counted them all. Waiting for the officials. Ed Teefee, the track announcer. Jimmy Austin, the race official judge tonight. We still have the starting car in the backstretch. I mentioned earlier this weekend I was watching the Meadowlands Pace broadcast with my sons. We had a good time. You know, my oldest son, Harrison, was excited to watch Tim Tetrick, the Illinois race 7 or 8. And Harrison made the comment, he said, "Dad, Tim hasn't had a race off yet, has he?" I was like, "He doesn't take many off." He started betting against Tim, thinking that he's got to be tired by the end of the card and would start, you know, slipping. Well, we all know how it turned out. Tim won the Meadowlands Pace with Confederate. You know, he's a consummate professional, one of the best out there, one of the best ever lived, to be honest. And these news I saw on Facebook, you know, the following day after that big win Saturday night in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Tim's father, Tom D. Tetrick, a longtime Illinois horseman, passed away at 73 years old. Anybody who knows the sport of harness racing knows the name Tetrick. Tom was the patriarch of that family. Tom and Mary Alice had 3 sons, and all 3 have been great horsemen across the Midwest. So our thoughts go out to Tom and Tim and Trace and Mary Alice and the whole family. And I still don't know what the call is on why we're waiting out here, but Steve's working on audio equipment. I got the judges staying up there fidgeting around. We'll keep riffing.
Horses are out now for race number 6. The Everett Porter Moss family trophy at stake here in race number 6 for a purse of $2,549. This race honors the late Everett Porter Moss. Porter Moss was on the Menard County Board and on the Menard County Fair Board for many, many years. On the Fair Board when they started racing harness horses again in 1976. Harness racing returned to this fair after a long time absence in 1976. Here's the field now for owned by the Flacco family farms of Alexis. Roshan Trigg trains with Jerome Daniels. To Hocus Pocus in Focus, Ron Phillips of Athens, the owner, along with Jamaica Patton of Rochester, Jamaica Patton, a trainer driver. By Dr. Steve Renard of Hamilton, Dr. Renard, the trainer driver. Number 4, YF Starlight, owned by Charles Doring of Brownstown. Darla Martin Lohman trains and will drive.
David Brink is going to get another cord for the headset, as we've lost a headset cord here. Apparently everything else works correctly.
Here in Menard County in the early part of the 20th century, but then there was a long absence of harness racing. It came back in '76 with people like Porter Moss and Tom Ostermeyer and the Harmonines and people that made it happen, of course, Ron and Shona Weiss, a lot of active people here in Menard County brought harness racing back 47 years ago this year. Porter Moss was a part of that.
They're getting assembled for this race on the backstretch, and we'll have racing for you in just a moment.
Puxatina, Hocus Pocus and Focus, Danish Lullaby, and YF Starlight. 4 Illinois bred, 2-year-old trotting fillies. Hocus Pocus and Focus is clearly the one to beat, as Jamaica Patton will be going for another victory here for another Ron Phillips owned horse. Hocus Pocus and Focus, the 2-year-old daughter of DeJambro. 6 wins in a second this year as a 2-year-old. 6 wins in only 7 starts. The only time this 2-year-old filly was beat, she was second. Her record is 208-2, 208-2 at Rushville. And the way Jamaica's going here tonight, that might fall. 16th away, race 6. Everett Porter Moss Family Trophy at stake, and here they come. Another beautiful start. Great start. YF Starlight goes off stride on the outside now. YF Starlight goes off stride, but there goes Jamaica with Hocus Pocus in Focus, one of the winningest, maybe the winningest 2-year-old trotter in North America this year. I doubt if any 2-year-old in North America, we'll look that up here a little bit later, has won 6 races already this year. 6 of 7 going for 7 wins right here at the home fair for Ron D. Phillips. Hocus Pocus in Focus from the 2nd Illinois crop of the credit winner son that made $1 million, DeJambro. Leads by 5 past the quarter. Have that time in a second here. It's Hocus Pocus in Focus at the quarter in 33 seconds flat. 33 seconds flat. Trotting nicely second is Danish Lullaby with retired Hamilton, Illinois, back and down in Hancock County. Retired veterinarian Steve Menard there. He owns, trains, drives these things, and he's driving hard here with Danish Lullaby back there second. Then we got Puxatina and YF Starlight. 105 and 4. 105 and 4 past the half. Hocus Pocus in Focus is trotting along very easily here, folks. 1/2 and 4, and she's picking up speed going down that backstretch. She now leads Danish Lullaby by 10, now 12, now 15 with a quarter of a mile to go. Jamaica Patton is putting on quite a show here tonight at the Menard County Fair with these Phillips-owned horses. This filly, folks, she'll be one of the favorites at the Illinois State Fair here in about 3 or 4 weeks. This is a rare filly right here. Hocus Pocus in Focus. She leads by 30. She's going to win for the 7th time in 8 starts, all by herself for Jamaica Patton. Danish Lullaby was second, Puxatina third, and YF Starlight.
All right, good finish to that race as we'll get the winner's circle for you and get things going there. As we'll get the, what we have as a winner is pretty easy out there to see which one was doing what. And winners look like this from the top to the bottom. It'll be number 1 horse, Puxatina, finishing 3rd. Hocus Pocus and Focus, which again is
at
our
mile,
favorite
208
horse.
and 4. Fractions of 33, 105 and 4, 137 and 4, 208 and 4. Last half in 103. Last quarter in 31 seconds. Jamaica Patton was just along for the ride. That filly just trotted in 208 and 4. Couple of fifths time best, but she could have trotted a lot more tonight. She really did that easily. She's a 2-year-old daughter of the credit-winning, $1 million winning DeJambro from Refocus by Valley Vic, bred by Rock Island's John Carver, who's been a partner of Ron and D. Phillips on many, many good horses. Told the story before, but John Carver's father started Bandag Corporation, the tire retreading company. The University of Iowa Hawkeye Arena named
Check
after
1, 2.
Carver. It's the Carver Arena
I'm
at
back.
the University of Iowa.
Cool.
After the late father of the breeder of this filly, John Carver. Owned by Ron Phillips,
You may have my
Jamaica
headset
Patton of
here.
Athens and Rochester. Another
I got a big
win
head.
as a trainer and driver for Jamaica Patton, folks. Let's give him a big hand. They win the blanket, courtesy of the Everett Porter Moss family.
Well, we've passed over the
Dee
halfway
Phillips
mark.
down there again.
We've had a couple of good races for the
Sherry
win,
Volodovich
David.
from Colorado.
And then we've also had those 30-length wins, a couple of those also.
The Jamaica Patton show has been hot tonight too, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, we talked about Puxatina. She finished third in this race. I was surprised at that. And then Hocus Pocus and Focus was first, Danish Lullaby second, and YF Starlight. Here we go.
Puxatina was third. To Hocus Pocus and Focus, the winner. Number 3, Danish Lullaby was second. Number 4, YF Starlight finished fourth. First quarter was in 33, the half in 105 and 4. 3 quarters in 137 and 4, the mile 208 and 4. Race 6 checks down, 3-1 to 4 on the bottom. 208 and 4 in the Porter Moss family trophy race.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Of everything we do. Get started at thestable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. The wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Back with you on Harness Tube. We're glad that you could be a part of this evening with us as we've gone over the halfway mark as we go into race number 7. 3 horses in this race with a total purse of $2,539. The Tom and Peggy Osmeyer sponsored race. Dashing Durango we've seen several times. Steve Menard and Doc and Los Mandalorian. We've seen that horse several times.
Yep.
JVH Moneymaker. That one doesn't ring to me, David.
That's a new one. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure on this GVH naming classification. That must be a breeder. There you go. Galen Helmuth would be the breeder. Galen R. Helmuth would be the breeder. Get your G, and I don't know what the V is. Might be his wife's name, H. But he must stand that strong hope because I've seen a couple of those. So it'll be interesting. You never know. The first lifetime starter, 3-horse field, expect anything. It could be, a nice tight race. It could be making breaks all over the place. But you got to like Doc Renard off the rail. He's always got his horses ready. He's always tight. He's always got his horses in contention. I would look for him to probably control this race. And, Jamaica's having a hot day. Probably going to sit on his back or maybe make a move up the backstretch when he can, when it's clear and it's got some clean air. Jamaica might move and just control things, but
this should be a tighter race. Horses 1 and 2, I would think.
You would think,
but hey, we've been proven wrong before. You never know when a horse is going to break or when something's going to happen.
And the way Jamaica's been going down the track today, he might just go on and leave them.
Hot hand.
And sometimes that's the way to do it. Is if you're hot, if you have the confidence, put separation between you and the field, make them kind of intimidated and come chase you. And it's a long way to track somebody down for a half a mile or more.
Yep, absolutely. As we get ready for race 7, we're over halfway through. Seen some good things, like I say, out of Dashing Durango and Los Mandalorian.
Well, I think we got Leanne Shin watching us because she just texted me and said Merle Miller and Arthur stand strong hope. But good to know. Thanks, Leanne. But yeah, he's a new sire in the state last few years. So Leanne's keeping me on tabs on the details.
Now, here's one thing you don't know unless you're at the track. Tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think I remember Kurt Becker talking about this, about Doc Renard. You can hear him driving his horse. I mean, you don't get that stuff by not being here.
No,
we don't have a microphone on the driver.
If you were here watching him warm up his horses, he gets just as excited. He's encouraging. He loves these animals. He's cheering them on. He used to have his horses in our stable, and he'd come down out of Hamilton and wanted to go a training mile with us, and we'd go 3 or 4 across the track, and he was just as excited then. It was a training mile, just a lesson to teach these horses, and he's out there having the time of his life. Really loves these animals, really cheers them on. He's been doing it for a long time and having some fun. So, like Kurt says, when you're not here in person, you don't get that rendered experience, right?
Yeah, and again, just because we know Kurt Becker might be listening to us today,
maybe
we are encouraging people to come to the county fair and watch the races in person. We know there are races that you can't get to, aka Kurt, where are you at tonight?
Yeah, he's somewhere busy.
Yeah, you got something going on, but you're, I'm sure, watching out there. Send us a message if you are. We'd like to hear from you.
We love knowing who's out there.
Here's the other thing. You talk about that, but you also talked about Doc bringing a horse up. Now, you have horses in your stable. Do you put them all on the track sometimes at the same time? You, your dad, your brother?
With our situation in Mount Sterling there, the only stable on the fairgrounds is the Bowen stables, and so it's hard to get horses on the track at the same time. Doug and Dad might be on the track at the same time, but that's really about it. In most of the year, when we're teaching these things how to go, breaking them and training them, usually they're by themselves because you want kind of all hands on deck to get them going and out there. It's not until a little bit later when they're a little more comfortable on the track we would start introducing, putting them in pairs or whatnot. But these guys over in Springfield who train them at the state fairgrounds, those horses see a crowded track from day one, and they're just used to it. So it's all, where you're stabled at, what's available to you, who's around.
And they get used to horses going opposite directions because you've got horses warming up on the outside and you've got horses doing race simulation on the inside. And so, again, the advantage of a bigger stable and more stables like a Springfield or some of these others where you've got multiple owners.
Dave Brooks from up in Cambridge, Illinois, had a couple pacers here, or he had his earlier in the races anyway, and I saw him having some trouble getting around the water truck with one of his babies. And you know what? When these guys come off these county fairs, you have that. They're used to their home track. They're used to their home, environment. And you come out here in a big truck and make, ask your horse to go between that and a cornfield or that and a fence, and they might get a little nervous. So, this fair season is really about experience. We like going fast. We like making money. But anybody who's a real horseman knows that this is just, we want to show them miles and experience for when the real money comes later in the year with the State Fair, DuQuoin State Fair, Night of Champions in Chicago.
Tina's getting a lot of steps in tonight.
She is running all over
the best place for her to see the track is from up here.
And then she runs behind us up to Brady
where she's got to input it into her computer up there as they get ready to go. We'll turn you back over to the racetrack.
Luz Mandalorian at Martinsville in 2:14-2. The 3 making a first career start here this evening. 8th away. Here they come. And they're off and trotting. Dashing Durango on the inside. On the outside, Luz Mandalorian. And away third, first-time starter GVH Moneymaker. 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trotters in the Tom and Peggy Ostermeyer sponsored race. Move past the draw gate and head up the backstretch. Dashing Durango from the first crop of the Andover Hall stallion, Danish Durango, who stands at the Alexis farm of the Flacco family. And this Danish Durango son leads by about 3 past the quarter-mile marker into the upper turn. Lou's Mandalorian is there second. He's a Lou's Legacy, home of the Flacco family farms. So they're well represented here. Now Lou's Mandalorian is going to take over. Lou's Mandalorian as Jamaica Patton is gunning for his 4th driving win in only 7 races tonight. Doc Menard is not giving up. Doc talks from the time they say go to the time the race is over. He works hard, and he's held the lead here and now opened up a length and a half with Dashing Durango. Jamaica will have to wait later. The half in 104-1, folks. First quarter was in 32-1. The half in 104-1. Dashing Durango on the inside. Here comes Jamaica again with Lou's Mandalorian, and this time he's going right on by Doc on the outside. Lou's Mandalorian, the Lou's Legacy colt, leads by 5, now by 7 over Dashing Durango, and then we got GVH Moneymaker. Here's another nice 2-year-old trotter. This one trained by the Springfield-based Roshan Strug. This rascal is a good gaited horse. Off the 3 quarters and 137. Lou's Mandalorian is cruising for Jamaica Patton. He's going to win another one by about 10 lengths. Dashing Durango was home second. Then we'll have GVH Moneymaker, the first-time starter. That mile was in 2:09 3/5. First quarter was in 32-1. The half in 104 1/5. 3 quarters in 137. The mile 2:09 3/5 of a second.
All right,
Mandalorian had a win at Martinsville in 2:14, so 2:14 and 2. So this mile 2:09 3 with the last quarter in 32 3. A lifetime best for Lou's Mandalorian, who made it look awful easy there. Pretty darn impressive. He's won 3 of 7. He's never been off the board. He now has 3 wins, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds in 7 career starts. 4th driving win of the night for Jamaica Patton. 7 races, Jamaica's won 4 of them. And they haven't been close.
Okay, David, I'm gonna turn Ed off for a minute.
Okay.
Questions for you.
Sure. Sure.
Watching Doc go by, okay? You see different styles. You see some with the tighter reins. When I saw him go by, it almost like he was whipping the horse with the reins themselves.
And that's one of Doc's good strategies, or I shouldn't say that's one of his go-to strategies. Is he kind of shakes the line at him a little bit. It kind of just flops it around on their butt, or if you those lines are kind of flat. If you hold it right, you can kind of make it slap against the rump.
And that's what I could hear.
And it's a little less aggressive than maybe the whip, but it's kind of just a nudge. But he's always talking to him. He's always kind of bumping him in the butt because his horses and him have a relationship, and they have to have that communication to be able to keep their confidence up. And he's doing anything he can to keep their mind on him and not on being tired.
All right, as they got the winner's circle going on out there. Again, final finish here, Dashing Durango, the number 1 horse, second. The number 2 horse, Lou's Mandalorian, finishes first again. That horse continues to do great. GVH Moneymaker finishes third as we get ready to head into the 8th race for the night.
I keep my ear to this pick winner contest, and I think I've caught the IHHA, Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association's own Brenda Watson won about 2 or 3 of those pick winners so far, so she's leaving a little heavier in the pockets than when she came.
Yeah, and you can do that. You can pick a winner here. You can pick a winner at home.
Yeah.
We encourage you to do all that. David, let's go back into history. Now, you're 36 years old, right?
I am.
So I'm going to ask you to go back probably at least 20 years, okay?
Yeah.
You say Bowens are the only trainer in the barn.
In Mount Sterling, on
in
the
Mount
fairgrounds,
Sterling,
yes,
Illinois.
yes.
Okay, so how many trainers were in the barn when you were growing up?
You know, when I was a kid at the Brown County Fairgrounds, there might be 30 to 40 head of horses on that fairground at any given time. I remember being a kid sitting in the bleachers under the sycamore tree, and there would be 6 horses on the track, all jogging, just exercise. Any given day, just exercising. Doug, Butch, I, Dad, Gary Wilson, Gary Bunch, Dick Altman, Harold Lincoln has horses in the back of Ed's barn. Larry Bowen, Doc Lunt, Bobby Newman. I mean, those were all since '95 probably.
Okay.
Those aren't long names. Those are semi-recent.
And I can remember going over to the Rushville barns, and there were 3 or 4 trainers over in that barn. Griggsville used to have harness
used
racing.
To have a nice barn with
and because I know that some of the people I know that were in Rushville were in Mount Sterling, were in Griggsville, and kind of move their horses around from time to time by location. Now a lot of the big barns are located in Springfield or the Springfield area, right? Or Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. This sport used to be you could take a horse off your farm and teach it to train, or teach it to trot or whatever, bring it to the fair and race for some money. Nowadays, to compete, you almost have to have one of these highly well-bred competitive animals at a facility where they're able to learn and compete, with all the necessary equipment and the track surface and everything. And that's the problem with Mount Sterling is if you put more horses there, that the track might be washed out if we catch a rain. It might not be usable. So these guys, opt to go to the state fairgrounds or to a training facility where there's an all-weather limestone track. There's paddocks available for them. It's handier for the shoers and the veterinarians and whatnot. It's kind of hard to get a veterinarian or a farrier out to Mount Sterling when we're the only client, on the facility. But that's the nature of the beast, and things change.
Also, costs go down when you get to the smaller towns. I mean, that was one of the advantages.
Yes.
They kept the training costs down by doing so. A lot of people training their own horses. I know Gina Marcella Northrup, who I've talked about numerous amount of times, train their own horses. And
they were in Mount Sterling for a while.
Mount Sterling, Rushville, Griggsville.
Yep.
They were at all 3 locations. Now, you talk about all-weather tracks. I noticed that when we were in Springfield because we called you and said, what's the deal here? You got the mile.
The big mile,
and so you can train on the mile, right?
The mile is only available if it's nice weather. The state fairgrounds crew actually will open that track up if they're able to get on it. It is dirt, so if it rains there, that dirt mile track can get pretty sloppy. And because of that, they do have the half-mile oval back there behind the barns made of limestone, so the horses can always get their exercise.
And plus, you're maybe wanting to train that horse. You've got county fair games
Yes.
that you're going to do. That you want to do some of the half-mile and some of the mile so that horse, understands the difference.
Especially if you have a horse, you're bringing it to a stake. Maybe to the Mount Sterling Fair, we have the big stakes for the 2-year-olds coming up this year. And if your horse has been training at Springfield and learning to go fast, you might need to freshen them up on a half-mile and blasting around these turns just before you come out and race for some big money, because it's you never know. You put them in that first turn, you think they've made 5 or 6 starts, but it bends right around there, and sometimes they can get in trouble. So
again, you say new environment, new things, new noises, new a fence here that we talked about, a chain link fence that kind of jags right out there.
Yep.
And that you all of a sudden you have nothing on your inside, and now you've got a chain link fence on your
inside. These horses wear blinders, and when they're coming down the straightaway, they're looking straight off. It looks open. When they make that what you call the first turn, when they make that first bend, they're between 2 chain link fences. And if I was a horse, I'd have anxiety, barreling into there 3 or 4 wide, trying to keep your feet clear. So that first turn can get some people.
And we had a race earlier, and we've talked about a little bit about this before. We had a 5-horse race earlier that when that first lap in that race, they were nose to driver head, nose to driver.
Nose to helmet.
All the way back into the 5th position. That was one of the better races of the night. But we talked a little bit about the fact that, I asked you, can you hear the horse breathing at you? And you said, tell them about, they not only breathe on you, but what else will that horse do to you when they're behind you?
You can hear them breathe. You can feel them breathe. You can catch snot all over the back of your neck. I've seen horses bumping helmets, taking their nose and bumping the horse's driver's head of a helmet. I've seen a horse actually so far as to bump the helmet and knock it down, knock the bill of the helmet down over the driver's eyes. You had to stop and kind of pull it back up. So,
it's a horse language saying, get out of my way.
And sometimes the horses tell you. We had one named Silky Broad years ago, and she'd do that herself. Dad would have his hands full and sitting in a hole and a horse on the outside, and she'd start bumping the horse ahead of her and say, hey, it's time to move because I'm going to run over you.
Well, it looks like we got the parade coming up here.
Yep.
And so if we can get Lisa's attention over there, she's maybe got it fixed to where it'll pick them up as they go by. I guess that's what she's got, is to pick them up as they go by. With this going. Yeah, catch as they can. And like I say, if you notice the quarter times are not up there, we don't have the ready accessible for that. I hate to leave stuff blank and trying to do it, so we have just kind of given up on it tonight.
I'm okay with that, because the way they're getting announced to us, even if we were up there, it'd be hard to confirm what we heard. It's kind of not getting very clear. So we'll just, as we get announced over the loudspeaker, we'll put them out to you guys.
And again, we've got our schedule up in front of you. We'll let you look at race 8 here.
Sage on stage, owned by Tim Williams of Crystal Springs, Mississippi. Roshan Trigg, the trainer, with Jamal Denson.
As I came in on the end of that, Papa's Last Call. We've seen that horse this summer quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. And Ms. Miley out of the Bob Walker barn. Ms. Miley we saw up at Cambridge win that big $6,000 race when all the 3-year-olds were combined. They had some carryover money from the year before. So we had a county fair race up in Cambridge going for over $6,500 or so. And Miss Miley got the job done that day for Bob Walker and all the connections of Hart and Robin. Who else even knows that? Chaz and Bob, I guess. RJ.
Then you got Jordan Patton on a Cornelius Cavett horse, Ashley's Nicky. And I'm trying to look. We have seen maybe that horse.
Well, this could be the fastest thus far of the program pretty easily here. The Bob Groder Memorial. 3-year-old filly Pacers.
Driver changes in this race, anything?
None, nope.
Okay.
And Ed just mentioned Bob Groder. If you look in front of us here, you can see a line of 10 or so red shirts. That's Bob's family and friends. It's good to see them all here
Miley's
supporting.
Got a couple of wins
Bob
this year. She's been first, second, or third in 6
part of
of
the
her
Midwestern
9
Illinois
starts.
Racing Association, who he started for years and years and years. And
made the most
we're just
money
happy
of the
to have
5 this year.
The Groders out here. Not the best circumstances, but we're happy to see that the family
Actually,
and
Miss
good people.
Miley's the only one of the 5 that has a win this year, and she's got
okay,
2.
I'm
We'll
going to pick a horse this time. I think MS Miley. I'm going to go with Jamaica Patton. He's got the hot hand.
You know what?
But I look on here, he's got a sub-2, 2 sub-2 times with that. 2 155s. Or I should say, he was 203 with 1 win, and what was it, 209 with the other? But he's been in some races that have been quick pace races.
Yeah, I'm looking for maybe Wyatt and Papa's Last Call, or Ms. Miley, or maybe Stage on Stage on the outside with Jamal Daniels leading hard here.
Beautiful start again. Papa's Last Call drives out quickly. Miss Miley's away there second. Racing third is Ashley's Nicky on the outside. Stage on Stage, and then Dandy's Surprise. 5 Illinois bred 3-year-old pacing fillies racing around the first turn. They're at the draw gate. Bob Pa's Last Call with Wyatt Evanetti by a length. Right there, second. That's Miss Miley. Third is Ashley's Nicky. Racing fourth is Sage on Stage. And then we got Dandy's Surprise as they move up the backstretch. Don't look to be going very fast here for 3-year-old pacing fillies. They move past the quarter into the upper turn and 32-1. That's pretty leisurely for this last 32-1 off the quarter. Bob Pa's Last Call, and one of the hot young drivers in the sport, Wyatt Evanetti, He leads by a length. Miss Smiley is right there second. Ashley's Nikki's racing third. Sage on stage and Dandy's Surprise. Here comes Miss Smiley. Jamaica Patton gunning for driving win number 5. Miss Smiley on the outside. Bob Paw's Last Call still there. First half was slow. We'll have that time in a minute. 106-3. That's crawling for this field. 106-3. Good job by Wyatt to get down there that slow. That filly on the inside. Now Bob Paw's Last Call. Bit of an underdog here, I would say, to Miss Smiley, but a half and 6-3 is going to turn a mile race into a half-mile race, and they're flying up the backstretch now towards the 3/4-mile marker. Bob Paw's Last Call on the inside. Miss Smiley is right there second. Sage on stage getting a nice trip on the outside of their third. Racing fourth is Ashley's Nikki. 3/4 and 137. They're at the head of the stretch. 4 in contention. Bob Paw's Last Call still there by a neck. Miss Smiley trying hard on the outside. Sage on stage comes 3 wide. Bob Paw's Last Call is going to win it by a head. Bob Paw's Last Call, Wyatt Avenatti.
Tight race again, David. There are 4 horses out there. Just nobody could break that third lane to the outside. That's tough.
I just saw the Pick a Winner contest winner. No one picked Papa's Last Call. That bucket was empty. No one in the grandstand.
I was in 207-3. The quarter was in 32-1,
Yeah.
the half in 106-3, 3/4 and 137. The mile 207-3 last half in 101 flat. Last half in 101.
Maybe everyone's picking
last
Jamaica.
quarter in 30 and
I mean,
3/5 of a
face
second.
it, that's what I was doing in that race. But let's talk about what Ed talked about in that race.
Turning this into a...
So many of the Groters are right here tonight in
pace
Petersburg.
down, saved his horse.
The Groters
and
and family and friends.
Like a half-mile
BB Groter down there.
Or
all
even a
wearing
quarter-mile
We've been doing that
dash
this summer
at that point.
in honor of Bob Groter and that red starting
and Kevin
gate.
Miller, 2 of the best on the fair
Nancy
circuit
Wright
out
down
there.
there.
I think Wyatt's the driving champion last year anyway. And he knew he got the front end.
Friends and family.
The horses are
linked
content
Bob
with where they're at. They're probably not going to move on you unless they really, really want to. Well, you know, he knew that he was strong enough to fend off anybody, and they weren't going to come at him, and he just kept backing the pace, and they let him have it, you know, and turning up the third turn, he opened the throttle up and said, "Come catch me, boys," and you know, it was a race home.
And again, we go back to, we looked at the race times earlier, that race times are not always indicative of how fast the horses were. And
Right.
that race is a prime example.
Exactly. You know, there's so many variables that go into a race. It's hard to compare one, you know, apples and oranges to the next one. It really just have to kind of follow these things and watch their tendencies and know the surface, know the track, know the race, and you know, Wyatt's great at that. Wyatt out here at these fairs, he knows what people are wanting to do and where they're wanting to be, and you give him the chance, he's on top any chance he can. He prefers it that way. Kevin prefers his horses on top. They're away from all the trouble. Just if you have a decent horse and you have a chance at winning, get away from everybody else, get out there on top, race your own race, make them come beat you.
Hey, we'll turn Ed back up.
Here by Wyatt Avenatti. Gets this field down to the slow half of 106-3 and pulls off the minor upset in 207-3. Bob Paw's Last Call. 3-year-old daughter of Fort Knox from What Was I Drinking by Yankee Cruiser. I've wondered that a lot of times. Owned by Lester Detweiler of Sullivan and Kevin Miller of Arthur. Trained by Kevin. Driven by Wyatt Avenatti. Bob Paw's Last Call. First win of the year. First lifetime win. 207 3/5 of a second. Wins that Bob Groter Memorial.
All right, with that, I want to talk about, let's see, what did I want to talk about? I had a fleeting thought there to talk for a moment about something, and it's left me. With that, why don't we take a break here and let our sponsors have some time here. We appreciate them. We appreciate our donors and everyone who helps us put this on.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Midwest Harness Report has been a strong advocate and comprehensive source for harness racing in the Midwest and beyond for over 40 years. With owner-editor Tim Conkle leading the way, Midwest Harness Report brings you the latest news, information, schedules, and stats. Uncover remarkable stories about the people and horses at the core of harness racing. Midwest Harness Report reaches thousands of subscribers every month. For advertising and subscription inquiries, call 765-212-1320 or visit MidwestHarnessReport.com.
Back with you on Harness Tube. Steve Surratt, David Brink coming to you. Lisa getting a shot. David, wave at our fans out there as she gives us a shot and a shout out there. Did she get my slim side? That's my question.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Mine
you know what? You're
sit
so
here.
skinny. You're so skinny they can still see most of me. Okay. But
I want to see this shot coming up. But yeah.
But yeah, she'll give us a shot out there. But we haven't heard from I was talking during the break there. Haven't heard from the Evanettis tonight. We've been calling out Kurt Becker. We haven't heard from Kurt Becker tonight.
Yeah, Kurt might be busy. I haven't heard from him. He hasn't chimed in yet.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but hopefully he'll watch later and know that we gave him a shout out.
But if you are out there watching, shoot me a text, an email, something. Let us know. We want to give you, we want to recognize you on, as a viewer on here. This is something that it's more fun if we can share with other people. If we're just talking to an airspace, it's not as fun if we know someone's out there listening to us and paying attention.
And people want to know, how serious are you about doing this? Well, folks, 3 weeks ago we were in Champaign to visit other people. No, we were headed to Martinsville. And we went through Champaign, and so we went to the Champaign County Fairgrounds. We're going to have probably a similar setup possibly there because I know they've got a finish line booth on one side, and we're going to have to get up as high as we can. They've got a racetrack there.
They might have bigger bleachers in the infield, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they do. They do have. So it'll be interesting. Like I say, everyone's different. We were going to Champaign for something else, and we stopped in Decatur before we were at Decatur. So we want to know, we're trying to bring the best product that we can bring to you.
The Surratts do not get enough credit, and we try to shout out and thank them as much as we can. They have bent over backwards to make this thing come to life. From Lisa on the camera to all the the prep work, going and visiting sites ahead of time, helping me think through some things and getting all the files lined up before we go on air. Wow, I mean.
Well, I have to tell you, when you first came to me, I'm going, I don't know, and then
sounds like a lot.
Lisa goes, yeah, that sounds like fun. Because we like going to harness racing. We go to the Brown County race. We've been to the state fair to some of that racing also, but we enjoy doing this, and why? Because we got bit by the bug. Now, we haven't been bit big enough, as Kurt Becker asked you, one of the last races we did.
I've got you guys in on a horse yet.
No, but we may be in sponsoring a race, though. So.
But that's the idea, though. Everyone has to start somewhere. You have to, figure out where you fit in the sport and where you can, as long as you have something to cheer for. Like I was saying earlier, I had my boys over this weekend watching the Meadowlands, and we were betting races, and you didn't have to win. Harrison would pick a horse, and then Theo would pick a horse, and then I'd pick a horse. And if you beat the other two, you won. Like you could finish 7, 8, 9, but the seventh place finisher got the the tally. So just find some reason to cheer for these races, and you'll be surprised how exciting it can be when you follow a little bit closer.
Well, people don't realize what my background, what I've been the last 11 years. I'm a second career pastor, and I kind of. If you're a horse racing fan, I liken it to church. Guess what? If you don't invite your neighbor, if you don't invite their friends, they're more than likely not going to show up but you need to ask them. And the same thing holds true in harness racing. You want to get people excited about harness racing, have a party. Have a party and do some
exactly
fun
right.
stuff and get them
It's
involved.
It's not that it's not exciting. It's not that we don't have a product or something for people to be interested in. It's that people don't know. People aren't aware. People aren't sure where to watch, where to catch it, where to even go. So if you have to have that inside connection, if you have a horse or a friend that has a horse, put it up on TV, invite them over for drinks, order pizza, something, just make it a night. You don't have to listen to all of our commentary. You guys can talk and visit and do whatever, but I mean, just to expose them to the races, to expose them to what's happening, let them start asking questions, and as those questions roll off their tongue, you'll be surprised how more in-depth they'll get. Next thing you know, they'll be asking really good questions, and they're hooked.
Well, and again, the reason why I ask you the questions and we have this conversation back and forth is so that we can get new people interested. Ed Teefy is on the mic now, so we probably need to go back to him as we get ready for race 9. Just 3 more
I will
races.
say, Kurt just texted, and he is watching and said we're doing a great job.
Okay.
Have a little bit of a slow first half, but they should go quite a bit quicker than the fillies did in the prior race. Mystic Revenge, you can see, comes here off a effort last week in Springfield over the mile track, that 3-year-old paced, and 154-1 with the last quarter in 27 and change. Deputy Dog, very consistent. He was a 10-time winner last year as a 2-year-old. He's won 14 of his 35 starts and almost $47,000. He won in Springfield last year and 53-1 as a 2-year-old. He won at Newton in 201-3 this year over that half-mile track. Expect a fast mile here. They're at the head of the stretch. Here they come. Oh, another great start. These 3 pacers are pacing fast towards that first turn. Sage's Revenge on the inside. Deputy Dog on the outside as they race around that first turn. And then you got Mystic Revenge there third. Still racing as they race past that draw gate and head up the backstretch. It's now Deputy Dog, and Deputy Dog with the lead. Sage's Revenge is second. Mystic Revenge is racing third. As we move towards, or make that Sage's Revenge in second. Mystic Revenge is third. As we race up the backstretch, past that quarter into the upper turn, it's Deputy Dog by a length and a quarter, again for Jamaica Patton. Deputy Dog, length and a half. Sage's Revenge, Mystic Revenge. First quarter in 30 seconds flat. They're going faster here. Quarter in 30 seconds. They move past the 3/8, moving towards the half. When you got Jamaica on top, you're not going to dog it much. Here comes Mystic Revenge to push the pace. It's Deputy Dog on the inside, Mystic Revenge on the outside, and now they're pacing real fast going into that lower turn. Off the half over to the 5/8. We'll have that half in a second here. On the inside, it's Deputy Dog and Jamaica Patton. On the outside, it's Mystic Revenge and Jamal Denson. They're off the half, now past the 5/8. The half, 105. They did dog it down that second quarter. To check that, the half and first quarter was in 30 seconds, the half and 5, but they're flying now. On the inside, Deputy Dog. On the outside, Mystic Revenge, and then we got Sage's Revenge. It's still Deputy Dog as Jamaica's going for 5 wins on the card. Mystic Revenge on the outside, Deputy Dog on the inside, a half a length apart. Deputy Dog on the inside, Mystic Revenge on the outside. Deputy Dog, Jamaica's going to pick up win number 5.
All right, David. Close race
Exciting
until
finish.
the end there.
Yeah, I'm watching the finish right now. Deputy Dog last year, Ed was saying 10 wins last year on the county fairs. This was the county fair 2-year-old colt pacer of the year last year for owner Dietrich Kelly out of Canton, Mississippi. Dietrich's an interesting guy. You see him at some of these fairs sometimes. He is, I believe, an offshore
at mile
oil rig
203 and
or whatever,
4.
working down in Houston somewhere.
203 and 4, the fastest of the
night.
night. The last half in 58
Wow.
and 4/5 of a second. Last half in 58-4. The quarter was in 28 2/5 of a second. 30 seconds to the quarter. They dogged it to the half in 105. Paced the third quarter. As Mystic Revenge came to the outside, they paced the third quarter in 28 2. Last half in 58 4 for a mile in 2:03 4/5 of a second.
Okay, David, that race 9 down. Any
Yeah,
changes
and
for race
Snyder
10?
is down there. Once again with Fran.
We have a
Fran
scratch.
Heyman and your fair queen, Leah
Hey,
Daniels.
scratch.
Just crowned last night.
Who's the scratch in race 10?
10th race, we're scratching the 6th. Hey, Freaky.
Jamaica Patton picks up driving win number 5 tonight. Deputy Dogs, a 3-year-old gelded son, a world of rock and roll from ULBB by All-American Ingot, bred by the Dandy Farms. And the Griders, Jeff Davis's Dandy Farms. And Dietrich Kelly from Clinton, Mississippi is the owner. Jamaica is the trainer driver. Deputy Dog wins for the 15th time in his career. For the 5th time this year. 2:03.4. Last half in 58 4/5 as he wins the N. Snyder and Associates sponsored race. Let's give them all a big hand, folks. Jamaica Patton, 5 wins and 9 tries here tonight. Results of race 9 now official. Number 1, Sage's Revenge was 3rd. Number 2, Mystic Revenge was 2nd. Number 3, Deputy Dog, the winner. And the 4, Midnight Chrome, was scratched. Quarter was in 30 seconds. The half in 105. 3/4 in 133 2. The mile was in 2:03 4. Race 9 from the top. 3, 2, 1, scratch in the bottom. 2:03.4 for that pacing mile. Race 10 is the 2- and 3-year-old open pace sponsored by the Harvey Garrick family. Scratched the 6. Hey Freaky has been scratched.
All right, David, next to last race coming up here, race 10, 2- and 3-year-old open pace, the Harvey Garrick family memorial, and $1,000 purse here for this. And I'm trying to, Roland Cali, I think we've seen this summer, haven't we?
Yeah, we've seen Roland Cali a little bit, or at least I have watched.
Rushville.
Yeah. I don't know much about this Rockin' the Crown horse for Mikey Rogers with Richard Finn driving, Fastlane Finn. Courtney Robeson for Ferguson, Ontario is the owner. Been racing at, I believe those are all Canadian tracks. London, maybe Saratoga in there. But yeah, coming in here into the Illinois County Fair system, we'll see what it has to offer. It's kind of a wide open race, I think. I don't see anybody. Of course, Jamaica with his horse Trident Born looks like he might be okay. Got a win 2 back in Newton. So we'll see. Roland Cali, of course, will be there, I think. 2 for 2 in the last couple outings, which should be tough.
Yeah. Yeah, and at times 2:06, 2:09, not some really fast times there.
But what's this one here? Delightful Dawn has been pacing in 54 in the last start, so but it all comes down to trip and track. We've seen horses on the rail kind of a little tentative maybe in that first turn and backing up a little bit because they're a little scared of that first turn. You've seen guys going into it hard and making breaks. So we'll see how this plays out. You got to believe if Jamaica gets anywhere where he can kind of control the race from maybe the pocket or the top, that he's going to be tough to beat again. But it's anybody's race. It's any kind of shake-up or curveball could make anything happen.
Okay. All right. So as we take a look and get ready here for race number 10, we got race 11 will only have 3 horses in it. Do we have any changes in that?
I don't have any, no.
Okay. All right. Well, we're glad to be coming from the Menard County Fair this evening from you for racing tonight. Again, we will be back out on Tuesday of next week. We will be in Urbana, Illinois for harness racing over there. Full day there. Then we'll take a couple of days off And then we start 8 days,
then
7 days of racing in
the
8
grueling
days.
mile. I just looked up at the judges' stand, Steve, and if you want a testament to how good this track is or can be, I believe that it says the track record here at Petersburg for the pace, 2013 NJ's Big Deal for Nan Turner. I think that says
156.
154 is what it
54.
says. I think.
Have Lisa
154
zoom in.
flat.
Have Lisa zoom in so we can see it on the sign underneath the
judges' stand. Zoom in on that sign
sign
under the judges' stand over there. Well, I want to try to read it. I can't tell if it says 154 or not.
Tell her to zoom
But
in
even
as far as she
if
can
you go back to that trot record, 2003, you'll see a horse named
154
flat.
Yep, and the trot record is
Source of Oz.
2 minutes and
4/5.
Four fifths. Yeah.
Source of Oz. Jerry Logan from Kentucky. Had Source Ann, who was arguably one of the best trotters of the early '90s, filly trotters of the early '90s in the Illinois program, years ago. I think Source of Oz being either a sibling or child of Source Ann. But yeah, still holds a track record here 20 years later. I still can't. I'm just stuck on that NJ's Big Deal mile, 54 flat on this half
Yeah,
mile.
and what's the
It's
Mount
smoking.
Sterling record on
Mount Sterling is 51-1, I think. I can only imagine Brandon Simpson 2001. The conditions were perfect. We had just resurfaced the track. They had put about 4 inches of lime on top of that good cushion dirt base, and it was a nice warm night. Just the stars aligned. The trot record was set that night too. I want to say 58-2 or 57-3 or 4. It might have been broke since then. I can't remember when it got sick. But it was two races that night. Brett Wilfong brought a trotter, speed through the tunnel, and Tom Harmer brought his trotter down too. And we had dual track records that day. It was a fun night, But that 51-1 mile capped off. The cool part was the sun was setting up about like this kind of sky in the pasture right behind the fairgrounds at Mount Sterling. The horse, his mom, I can only imagine his mom, in Shell, an Illinois champion in her own right, was standing over in Ed Tiki's pasture watching it all happen.
Here's your field for the
cool is
open
that?
pace for 2 and 3-year-olds, the Harvey Garrett family memorial race. Number 1 is Delightful Donna, owned by Ron Phillips of Athen and Louis Lineberger of Gibson City. Jamaica Patton, the trainer, with Jordan Patton driving. 2 is Rolling
Mike
Calais,
Cox
owned by
on
Charles Hunt Jr., Houston, Texas. Rashawn Trigg trains with Jamal Denson. Number 3 is Trident Born, on the D&J Racing Stable of Mississippi. Jamaica Patton, the trainer driver. Number 4 is Rocking the Crown, owned by Courtney Robson of Fergus, Ontario, Canada. Mike Rogers trains with Richard Finn. Number 5 is Powerful's Best, owned by Jerome Daniels of Springfield. Jerome is the trainer driver. And the 6th, Hey Freaky, has been scratched.
Who did you say was the driver?
Mike Cox. Tiffy announced Jamaica was driving, and he just won that last race. Maybe Mike is just kind of warming this horse up for him, but that was definitely Mike Cox in the bike. Mike Cox, good to see him back in the bike too. He had a motorcycle accident a couple years back, pretty nasty accident, but in his own right, he drove a lot of those NJ's horses for the Turners. He's won a lot of races at these fairs. I believe he trained for Doc Walker's Fox Valley Standardbreds at one time. I mean, it's good to see him back out here in the bike for sure. A guy who's been doing it since I've been around and been going pretty fast for a long time.
David, I asked you this question. I don't know if you found it for me yet, but trying to look for sources out there. When you get interested in something, you want to go out and look at some of the history and look at some of the things behind it. Is there a site that you can go to look at horse owners, maybe past horse owners, past horses, things like that, the history of harness racing?
Unfortunately, there's not a good site for local history, I'll say. You can go to ustrotting.com. That's
Rolling
the national
Cali,
website.
Trident Born, Rocking the Crown, and
but
Powerful's
anybody's on
Best. They're in
Facebook,
behind the
follow
gate. Gates
Horse
on
Talk
the
Today,
move for
Kurt
race
Becker's
number
little
10.
page. Kurt has as much information
Sponsored
between
by the
Kurt or
Harvey
the Illinois
Garrett
County
family.
Fair and Horse Racing Group, between Leanne Shin and Kurt Becker. They have more information coming out of their mouths on their profiles than I can even gather. So, I just look to them right now. I really do.
MC, what's Kurt Becker's site again?
Horse Talk Today, or Horse race up. What is, I have to look it up. Horse race update. What is
5 starters all on the gate.
We want to make sure we get it
I
right.
know. Now
Here
I'm
they
saying it out
come.
loud and I can't figure it out.
They're off and pacing. That's Roland Cali out very quickly. Triton Born gets away second. Then we got Rockin' the Crown as we race into that first turn. Roland Cali down on the inside leads by about 3 parts of a length. Roland Cali with the lead. A little tough to see. I think that's Rockin' the Crown. Right there second. Delightful Donna is pacing along third. Powerful's Best is back there. Then Triton Born is the trailer. As we race towards that quarter-mile marker, it's Roland Cali. But rolling up on the outside, the new leader is Delightful Donna. Delightful Donna with the lead now by a length and a half. Roland Cali is back there second. As they pace over to the 3/8 mile marker, it's Delightful Donna, the Real Desire filly. Real Desire's sister, to a $2 million winner, leads here on the inside. On the outside, Rockin' the Crown is right there second. Roland Cali is racing third. Up on the outside there, fourth. As they race around the final turn is Powerful's Best. The quarter was in 33-1. The half is in 106. 106, Delightful Donna with Jordan Patton leading here. Rockin' the Crown is on the outside there. As we race towards the 3/4 mile marker, it's still Delightful Donna with Rockin' the Crown on the outside. Less than a quarter of a mile to go. Delightful Donna, the full sister to the $2 million winning Rockin' Ron, leads by a length and a quarter for Jordan Patton with an 1/8 of a mile to go. Rockin' the Crown is in chase there, but it's all Delightful Donna. Delightful Donna is going to put him away here. Wins it by about 5. That was Roland Cali second. Rockin' the Crown was third. Delightful Donna. That was Mike Cox driving the 3 there. Mike Cox was driving the 3.
You know, Steve, I completely missed what Ed was alluding to up there. Delightful Donna being a full sister to a $2 million earning Rockin' Ron, a great horse. So I didn't read the program. I guess it's too dark. I must have missed that. But yeah,
we have
that's
no
a
lighting.
well-bred filly, very well-bred filly, Delightful Donna.
I'm having to rely on carnival lights back behind me to see what I've written myself.
That mile was in 2:06 1/5 of a second. 2:06 1/5. The Harvey Garrick family coming trackside here for the trophy presentation. Harvey Garrick, the former owner of Standardbred Racehorses.
And folks, the picture you'll notice as we've got past dusk here,
the father of
the lighting on the
here,
front stretch is very, very good, and
Karen
so you get a
Harmony.
good picture on the front
The
stretch.
Fair Queen's down there.
And she's got the aperture open
Leah
as far
Daniels.
as she can get her open with that. But
C.D. Phillips is back
we're,
down there for the
getting
Garrick
down to the last race here.
Memorial Trophy presentation. It's going to go to Delightful Donna. Ron Phillips does it again.
You know, we don't see
Owned by
Jamaica
Ron
out of his
Phillips
colors very often,
Athens,
do we?
Louis Lineberger of Gibson City. Trained by Jamaica Patton, this time driven by Jordan Patton. Delightful Donna picks up the win in 2:06 and 1.
Inside.
Off a quarter in 33 and 1, a half in 1:06, 3/4 in 37, the mile 2:06 and 1. Last half in a minute and a fifth for Jordan. Last quarter is in 29 and 1. As this filly picks up her first win of the year, her third in her career. This filly was bred by Ron Phillips and Louis Lineberger, and she's a full sister to the $2 million winning Rockin' Ron. Big hand, folks, here. Jordan Patton, Delightful Donna. The Phillips and Lineberger owned Jamaica-trained 3-year-old filly.
You made a note there, David, and I don't know if Felice's picture will show up, but there's 2 head rods on there. Explain
Two head
that.
pull, right. So if you look on the left side, on this side of the horse here, on the screen side, there's 2 head pulls, and usually what you'll see is a head pull on one side or one on both sides, keeping the horse's head straight. When you see 2 on the same side, it leads me to believe that horse probably bears in. And what that means is when it gets to the turns, kind of leans into the turn and cocks its head right, kind of leaning into that inside. You put both those head pulls in there, and it kind of keeps that head straight, kind of forces their head to keep going straight. They can't turn it around and look at you quite so much.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. We'll do some housekeeping here as we get ready for this last race. We're going to let our sponsors have a little time here, but we also want to talk about the things we need to talk about as far as harness racing. We couldn't do what we do without the generous donors that we've got out there, and I list those up on the screen. I'll put that up on the side-by-side there. And so many people have made sure that you're able to watch this for free online. Our 5 sponsors that we have, also the people out there that just have donated money say, hey, I want people to be able to watch for free, and they can
wow.
continue to do that. We're overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, yeah.
In this first season of what that is. And so how can you be involved? You know, you could, even though the races are pretty much done for the year, you could help us do the last 8 races, help that financially, but also put us into winter to be able to get ready for next season and plan for next season. You can go on Venmo or you can go on PayPal, and you simply go to those and go at Harness Tube.
Correct.
And you can send David bring some money. Now, if you like old-fashioned checks, my wife likes to send checks sometimes. P.O. Box 63, Mount Sterling, 62353.
And once again, I think I had this whole idea in my mind mapped out, but the checks, the P.O. Box has been probably the biggest way I've received donations. People like writing the check or writing a little handwritten note thanking. You know, it's been great to get the feedback, to get the support from the horsemen. Of course, the donations are helping. You know, anything that we can make this year, I'm trying to buy this equipment off of you so we can stop borrowing it, but there are expenses, paying you guys, getting the equipment. You talked about the price of the camera and all the stuff we have. So we just appreciate anyone who steps forward with a donation or wanting to advertise. If you have a message or a service, we'd love to give you 30 seconds of airtime. We have it to spare, I think.
Yep. And so, to give people an idea, because people want to know, well, what's the equipment cost? Well, you've got $1,500 to $1,700 in a camera. You got $1,500 just in a little thing that we do the graphics and things through, computer, headsets, box, all those things. We're over $3,000 with what we just bring to the table.
I have zero qualms with saying that it's $4,000 to $5,000 to get up and running. Now, could you do it cheaper? Possibly, but as we've seen, you have to have all the equipment in case you need it.
Yes.
We have 2 tables today. Now, do you need 2 tables? Probably not. But in this situation, it's what works best for us.
And we had a headset cable go bad. So guess what? Thank goodness we had a spare headset.
So, all this kind of stuff adds up. But yeah, I would say that number, I would feel confident in that, because you have to buy this equipment. You have to have all the cords, all the adapters, all that kind of stuff. You drop cords, tripods. It's just one of those things, the little adapters for all the audio, so anybody who can offer us some support, one way or the other is very appreciated, because, no one's trying to get rich off of this. The whole idea is we want to get back to the horsemen as much as we can.
All right, with that, we'll take a break and thank our sponsors. We've already thanked our donors.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Indispensable. Maximum exposure, the best sales marketing tools. The easiest way to sell your horse for top dollar. the wave of the future. Since holding their first sale 20 years ago, OnGate.com has become harness racing's leading marketplace, with over 13,000 registered users buying and selling racehorses and bloodstock through daily online auctions. Browse listings for free and buy your next racehorse at OnGate.com. OnGate, we've changed the way the business works.
Yoder Custom Woodworking was started in 1995 by the Yoder family as a retail Amish furniture store in Sullivan, Illinois. They offer custom kitchen cabinets, granite and quartz countertops, built-in office and bathroom cabinetry, and offer a wide range of Amish furniture. Their store is located at 1117 West Jackson Street in Sullivan, Illinois, with store hours Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturday 9 to 3. For more information, contact Yoder Custom Woodworking at 217-728-2166.
Back with you on Harness Tube. We thank you for watching and listening tonight as we enter the last rate. What things coming up again? The Champaign County Fair next Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Bless you.
Sorry. Post time. Lincoln, Sunday and Monday, July 30th and July 31st. Logan County Fair, 1:30 start times. 2nd through the 4th will be in Charleston, the Coles County Fair. That'll be a 5:30 start on the 2nd and 12:30 on the Wednesday or Thursday and Friday. Saturday and Sunday will be in Mount Sterling, Illinois for the Brown County Fair. 2 p.m. post times
2 p.m.
for those, and we usually have 8 to 10 races. So here they come, and we'll get you back to racing.
Down on the inside, on glide between them, Luz Adonis, as we race into that first turn. On glide on the inside, Ems, Roscoe Coltrane on the outside. Then we got Darla Loman and Luz Adonis there third. All three in contention. They move past the draw gate and head down the backstretch. The filly, On Glide, has the lead on the inside. She's about to give it up, though, to Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane. Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane, not clearing very easily here, though, for Jordan Patton. Now he does. Jordan's on top now with Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane. On Glide is back there second. Luz Adonis is trotting third as they move over to the 3/8 mile marker. Over to the 3/8. They're at the head of the stretch the first time. It's Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane was past the quarter in 32 and 2/5 of a second. 32-2 past the quarter. They're at the half now. Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane, the richest horse in the race, leads by a length and a quarter. On Glide, the filly is right there second. Racing third is Luz Adonis. They trot over to the 5/8. Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane by a length and a half. On Glide still there second. Half and 103 and 2. Luz Adonis is back there third. They race up the backstretch. They're going to have to catch Jordan Patton and Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane. Now with a 4-length lead with a quarter of them on to go. On Glide and Luz Adonis as they trot over now to that 7/8 mile marker. Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane. Here comes the filly. On Glide to the outside. Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane on the inside. On Glide on the outside. 3 wide comes Luz Adonis. We got a battle. Ems, Roscoe P. Coltrane's going to win it. On Glide will be second. And Luz Adonis only 2 lengths back third.
David Brink gets ready to go out to help present the blanket on this one. Win like this. And Roscoe P. Coltrane.
I was in 206 flat. Quarter is in 32 and 2. Half in 103 and 2. 3/4 in 134. The mile was in 206 flat. 32-2, 103-2, 134, 2:06. Race sponsored by the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association, the trade association that represents the horsemen here in the state of Illinois. David Brink, who's with the harness tube up there with Steve and Lisa Surratt coming trackside. He's a director of the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association, along with Brenda Watson, who's the grassroots coordinator and legislative consultant for the IHHA, who sponsors this race and provides the purse money to county fairs for these Illinois-bred 3-year-old up races. This race, race number 11, won by M's Roscoe P. Coltrane, owned and trained by Edgewood, Illinois' Jacob Radel, driven here by Jordan Patton. To his second win of the year, his 7th win in 62 starts lifetime. He's made over $68,000 now. It's a 5-year-old, a son of Southwind Breeze from Margie's Dream by Cole Muffler. So he's got a trotting sire. He's Payson bred on the mother's side. But he's a pretty tough customer at these county fairs. Jacob Radel, the owner-trainer. Jordan Patton doing the driving. Here's your winner of race 11, M's Roscoe P. Coltrane in 2:06 flat. Brenda Watson and David Brink from the Illinois Harness Horsemen's Association out there with Jacob Radel and Jordan Patton, Fran Heyman. A winner nightcap, race number 11 here. Checks will be in the office for all 11 races shortly, horsemen. Checks will be in the secretary's office by the grandstand shortly. Jordan Patton, folks, he wins the nightcap with the 3, M's Roscoe P. Coltrane.
All right, that ends our night on Harness Tube. We had 11 races for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some new information. Again, invite a friend over. It's kind of like inviting to church. If you don't invite people, they don't come. Invite them over to your house. Say, hey, we're having a party. We're going to watch some stuff on TV. Have a little party. Have a little betting. Do some things. But you will enjoy harness racing. Next up, Urbana next Tuesday. And we want to thank you, and God bless.